following NBC sports program is brought to you in living color.
American League champs, the Oakland A's, versus the National League champions, the New York Mets. Brought to you by your Dodge dealer. We invite you to see the beautiful all-new Monaco 474. And by Gillette, makers of new Track 2 twin injector blades for the best injector shave of your life. The temperature 50 degrees in New York, a brisk breeze blowing. The weatherman said there might have been a chance of rain. It hasn't, and neither team took fielding or batting practice. Ladies and gentlemen, last night we saw a rare moment in World Series history. 2 standing ovations for a reserve obscure infielder by the name of Mike Andrews. Mike Andrews did not have a job in the middle of the summer. After being picked up by the Oakland A's, he was sent home packing last Sunday night. Well, it's been an experience, I think, that Mike Andrews will always wonder about. And, you know, we read about the horrifying crimes in the streets, and we have a nation of knockers, it seems sometimes. Also, quality and substance nowadays seem to be scoffed at and unappreciated. But I think last night Mike Andrews found out how decent people can really be. First of all, his own teammates stood solidly behind him. And then the enemy crowd, the New York Met fans, who were vilified for their actions here in Game 5 against the Cincinnati Reds, proved to be warm and understanding. Typically, New York sports fans have always rooted for the underdog. And last night, they rooted for Mike Andrews. The standing ovation Mike Andrews will always ponder about and wear a secret smile the rest of his life. Tonight's starting pitchers: Vida Blue for Oakland, Jerry Koosman for the Mets, both left-handers. Lindsey Nelson, what's the condition of Cleon Jones? He was doubtful just before game time.
Kurt, he has the flu. They've decided he is going to play. We saw him night before last with an upset stomach on the field. We saw him leave the game last night with the flu. He hasn't eaten any solid food in 2 days. He was examined by the doctor tonight. He's weak. He's not 100%, but he's going to play.
Well, you broadcast the Mets here since '62. You went through many a lean year till the Mets finally made it in '69. Now back in the World Series again. Anything surprise you about the Mets in this series?
Yes, there is something. It's their run-scoring ability, their ability to hit the long ball. I'm not surprised by their pitching. They got here on pitching. They got here on good defense, but they have been able to score more runs than I ever dreamed they would.
It's been a crowd that's been enthused here, the same in Oakland. Anytime you have World Series, you have excitement, hilarity, a sense of good feeling. But sometimes it isn't always that way with everyone. Last year, a sad sight to see Reggie Jackson on crutches. And this year, Bill North, the regular center fielder of the Oakland A's, has not been able to play in this series. And before the game, Tony Kubek taped an interview with the A's center fielder.
Bill, this past season for the Oakland A's, you stole over 50 bases, you batted 280 plus, you scored 98 runs, you had a whale of a year. You're not in the World Series. Now, perhaps you can explain for our fans why you're not on this World Series roster.
Well, I hurt my ankle, and I was in a cast for about 2.5 weeks. And then I came out of the cast, and I went through a bunch of therapy and stuff, and they got my ankle in pretty good shape, but it got down to a thing where they didn't feel, a couple of people, namely Finley and Williams, didn't feel that I could do enough and that it wouldn't be beneficial to my well-being, I don't know, health-wise. And
could you play right now if you had to?
I think I can. I feel good. My ankle hasn't hurt me in a week.
All right, you've had a chance to watch the series, the Mets, your Oakland A's team. What are some of your observations about your own team and the Mets?
Well, our team, we're not getting the long ball the way we should. You know, it's a funny kind of thing, but we went through a couple of streaks like that this year where we didn't get a long ball for a week or so, you know. And the Mets, I really don't think they're as good a team as we are, but then not always the best team wins. And I'm not going to say that they win, but they've won a couple of games, and they scrap, and they're a tough team, and they come out and fight you, you know. And sometimes emotion is better than physical ability.
Bill, you don't seem very happy to be inactive at World Series time. It's always a great time of the year for a player and for the fans, and you seem like you're a little bit dejected not being able to play.
Yeah, because, I don't know, I think that I could do something to help the team, and since I can, it's kind of frustrating, but I've been staying away mostly, so, you know, it's all right.
Bill North, maybe next year.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming out. Let's go back upstairs.
During the last day of the play.
Here is the manager of the A's, number 23, Dick Williams. Batting first and playing shortstop, number 19, Bert Campaneris. Batting second and playing left field, number 26, Joe Rudy. Batting third and playing third base, number 6, the captain of the A's, Sal Bando. Batting fourth and playing center field, number 9, Reggie Jackson. Batting fifth, playing first base, number 18, Gene Tennis. Batting sixth, playing right field, number 22, Jesus Alou. Batting seventh, the catcher, number 10, Ray Fosse. Batting eighth, playing second base, number 1, Dick Green. Batting ninth and pitching, number 14, Vida Blue, who is warming up in the bullpen. And here are the remaining players and coaches of the Oakland A's. Here is the manager of the Mets, Yogi Berra. Batting first and playing third base, number 11, Wayne Garrett. Batting second and playing second base, number 16, Felix Millan. Batting third, playing right field, number 4, Rusty Staub. Batting fourth, playing left field, number 21, Cleon Jones. Batting fifth, playing first base, number 28, John Milner. Batting sixth, the catcher, number 15, Jerry Grody. Batting seventh, playing center field, number 25, Don Hahn. Batting eighth, playing shortstop, number 3, Bud Harrelson. Batting ninth and pitching, number 36, Jerry Koosman, who is warming up in the bullpen. And here are the remaining players and coaches of the New York Mets. Ladies and gentlemen, with us this evening is the Armed Forces Police Color Guard and the 590th United States Air Force Band of the East from McGuire Air Force Base, New Jersey. The national anthem this evening will be sung by Tony Martin. And now, to honor America, let us all join in singing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that
NBC will bring you the 5th game of the 1973 World Series and the ceremonial first pitch right after this message.
You know, I feel it.
Your sciatica.
The Uniroyals, they really stopped short. I feel it. I really feel it.
Then say it.
These Uniroyals really turned sharp.
We feel it too, don't we, Al?
That's right. You can actually feel the difference between Uniroyal steel-belted radials and your old bias ply tires.
We feel it in our thrill show. You'll feel it on the road.
I feel it. I really feel it. I know you do, my son.
We direct your attention to the commissioner's box adjacent to the Mets dugout. We are honored this evening to have with us to throw out the first ball one of the greatest players in baseball history, Joe DiMaggio.
Joe DiMaggio, who played in 10 World Series, had 8 home runs, probably weighs about 1.5 pounds more now than when he played. One of the most beautifully groomed men in baseball history. I think he's better looking now, Lindsay, than he was when he was a player.
I think he's by far more distinguished looking than he ever was in his life.
Joe D.
Well, as Jerry Koosman walks around behind the mound and gives a good sign to all his players, Bert Campanera stands in, and we're ready, and here is NBC's Jim Simpson.
Actually, Baltimore, Campanera against Koosman in the second game, 1 for 2, had a triple. He's 5 for 20 in the series. Koosman, the left-hander, throws. It's a strike on the outside corner. Koosman most effective in his last 4 starts, including the playoffs, before not being effective in World Series game number 2. More about that later. Right back with a curveball that drops over the inside corner. Strike 2. Fastball on the outside corner. Slow curve on the inside corner. Campanera's behind 0-2. Koosman in his last 4 starts, including a playoff, allowed 3 earned runs and 32 and 2/3 innings pitched. Only to be bombed out in the second game with 3 runs, 6 hits, and 2 1/3 innings pitched of World Series game number 2. Very tough competitor. Hero of the 69 series. Comes back with another slow curve, fouled back. Still 2 strikes to Campanera. On to Joe Rudy. Milner at first, Leon at second, Helson at short, Garrett the third baseman, a very ill Jones out in left field, Hahn in center, Staub behind the plate, and Grody is the catcher. As Koosman working fast comes back with another slow breaking ball, thrown by Garrett on the ground at third base and throws him out. Milner fell off the bag but managed to keep his foot dragging across the bag for the out. 1 out. And that'll bring up Joe Rudy. Rudy 6 for 17. 353 in the series with 3 RBIs, and against Koosman on Sunday, 2 for 2. Jones lost one of his drives to left field for a wind-aided and sun-aided double. With the sun being the paramount reason, Jones lost it. Wind is blowing toward right field. Koosman throws an off-speed pitch that misses outside. Against the Cincinnati Reds, when Koosman was so effective in the 9-2 win in the third game of the playoffs, their big hitters in the Cincinnati lineup, the first 5, Koosman worked almost exclusively with breaking pitches. When he got down to the 7, 8, 9 batters, came in with a fastball. There's a fastball to Rudy, and it's strike 1. Koosman had Campaneris behind 0-2, just missed with ball 1 to Rudy, and his fastball is right down the middle. He's around the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. And a balloon blows across the infield, and Irv Norton chases it down at the foul line, the third base coach. Strong winds, chilly temperatures. It'll be in the mid-40s before this game is over. Koosman ready, Rudy ready, and swings at a breaking pitch and fouls it toward the Oakland dugout. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And so Koosman has been ahead of both Campaneris and now Rudy. 14-5 during the regular season. Jerry Koosman. Back in 1969, he was 2-0. Makes that 14-15. There's a pitch way up high, and that's the first time that Jerry has really been out of the strike zone, and he was way up high there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Vida Blue has not won in a playoff or a World Series yet. He's tonight's pitcher for the Oakland A's. Back again with the breaking ball. Grounded again toward Garrett. Behind Garrett is Harrelson. The long throw from the hole. High off the back. Milner comes down. He's out. John Milner leaped high to get the throw and came right down on top of the bag and had Rudy by half a step. And there goes that Bud Harrelson again. Garrett cutting across. Harrelson going in the hole behind him, and with that rifle arm throwing it out. He and Campaneris have put on some show. 2 out in the scoreless first inning, and here's Sal Bando. 4 hits in 15 attempts. He had a triple in 2 attempts against Koosman in the second game. Big, strong right-handed hitter. 29 home runs, 98 RBIs during the regular season. Koosman throws him that breaking pitch outside, ball 1. Jerry started Campaneris with a fastball, but both Rudy and Bando, he went to a slow curve. Comes back in, the same pitching pattern as he showed Rudy, fastball, but this one misses. It's 2-0. Capacity crowd, it'll be well over 54,000 here tonight. The last World Series game in New York for this year. We go back to Oakland Saturday. The 2-0 count. Another breaking pitch stays high, 3-0. And after showing almost perfect control to the first 2 batters, Koosman now has gone to 3-0 to Bando, and he takes a look down the third base coach of Norris. Back misses outside with a fastball, and on 4 pitches, Bando walks, and up comes Reggie Jackson. Jackson 5 for 18, 4 of those hits in 1 game. And against Jerry Koosman, he failed to hit in 2 attempts. The American League's leading home run hitter with 32, leading RBI man with 117, stole 22 bases and hit 293. Strong contender for both valuable player awards during the regular season of 73. Left-handed batter. Koosman pitching from the stretch, looking at Bando, throws. It's a strike on the outside corner. Reggie Jackson was quoted today as having said he was told by Mr. Charles Finley, owner of the Oakland A's, others may go, but Reggie, you will live and die in Kelly green and gold of Oakland A's. I'm not going to trade you. This is the same pitch outside, missing low and away. Koosman will throw that slider low and away to the left-handed hitters. He got the first one in there and missed with the second. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. No score. Top of the first. Bando, who walked on 4 pitches, is at first base with 2 outs. Koosman ready, and again, this time it's a foul at the plate. Swinging foul by Jackson. Might have bounded off Brody as Jerry bends over for the moment, and Russ Getz, the American League umpire, walks out, gives him some time, and throws the new ball back to Jerry Koosman. On deck is Dean Tennant. They play Jackson around to the right and very deep. The wind at this moment is blowing in. Jackson waits, sidearm fastball, just as down low. 2-2. Koosman will drop down to about 3/4. To those left-handers. Oakland A's have not hit a home run throughout the entire World Series. A big surprise. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Missing outside again at 3-2. The last home run the A's had was by Campaneris in the playoffs. And by the way, the combined earned run average of the New York Mets against powerful Cincinnati in the National League Championship and powerful Oakland in the World Series is 167 earned run average. 1.67. 3-2, 2 out. Bando will be going. There he goes. Swinging a miss. Jackson strikes out to end the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and Bando left at first. We go to the last of the first. There's no score. Well, the younger of the 2 left-handers, 24-year-old Vida Blue, who was the sensation of baseball, the award winner, most valuable player in the American League in 1971. This year, back to a 20-victory season after winning only 6 last year in a conflict-filled season. Vida ready to go at the New York Mets, a hot ball club, and they've been getting some great starts in the first inning the last 2 or 3 games by Wayne Garrett, who's coming on to start now against Vida Blue. One of Wayne Garrett's home runs was against Vida Blue. On Sunday, he was 1 for 3, a home run plus a walk. 256. Garrett's season-long average, 16 home runs, 58 RBI. Has 2 home runs in the World Series. No scores. We begin the last of the first inning. Leon is on deck to follow. Vida Blue looking for that first big win. He's a 20-game winner for the second time in his career, but looking for a series win. Starts him out with a fastball. Strike one. Tennis at first, Green at second, Campaneris at short, Bando the third baseman. From left to right in the outfield, Rudy, Jackson, and Alou. Fosse behind the plate. Another fastball misses high and away. 1 ball, 1 strike to Garrett. Vida Blue gave up 4 runs on 4 hits in 5 1/3 innings. In that second game, working very hard and very quickly down. A fastball misses down low. He has thrown Garrett 3 fastballs. 2-1. Lifetime in the series, Blue has had a couple of starts, been in 5 games, allowed 8 runs and 12 hits. There's the strike. In 14 innings pitched. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Garrett. The teams will leave tomorrow. And so will we for the West Coast and Oakland, California for the Saturday and if need be Sunday afternoon game. 2-2 to Garrett. Blue now throws another fastball and strikes him out swinging. Well, Vida showed us a series of fastballs there and got Garrett swinging. That'll bring up Felix Leon. And Monty, you followed Vida Blue all year long, and in the late going, meaning in the playoffs and the championships, he has not gone the route.
He hasn't. I think he really had the stuff to have gone the distance in Baltimore, in the one game in Baltimore. He just made a bat or two against Baltimore in the 1 inning. He was throwing as well as he's thrown all year for 6 1/3 innings. You remember he walked Earl Williams and then got a bloop single, and then he just grooved one, and that was all over.
Here's Leon hitting the first pitch toward the first baseman. Tennis slips underhand to Blue, who's over there very quickly and alertly to cover the play. And on 1 pitch, Leon is out. And here comes Rusty Staub. 2 home runs last night, 5 RBIs. The most hits in the World Series, 7. And with that bad right shoulder after crashing into the right field wall here in New York in the National League Championship. Kept him out of the final game of the championship, the first game of the World Series, even though he was up at one time to pinch hit. Got in the second game and has been playing since. And has more hits than anybody else. Fastball down at the knees for a strike. And his home run last night on a pitch on the outside corner of the plate went to the opposite field, 370 feet away. Joe Rudy thought he had it all the while, but it went over the fence, fouled off. And now Blue is ahead of Staub, 0-2. We'll remind you again that the home runs that Rusty Staub has hit in the championship were off Grimsley and Gullett, left-handers, and last night off Holtzman of Oakland, a left-hander. So he's not been puzzled by left-handers. Left-handers have been puzzled by him. 2 out, no score last of the first. Fastball up high and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. On deck is Cleon Jones. Jones came to the ballpark very late this afternoon, examined just before game time, very weak from a 2-day bout with the flu, but is going to play. This ball bounces in front of the plate. Staub picks it up. Tried to turn that one over. 2 balls, 2 strikes. They have Theodore and Willie Mays and Cranepool. And Cleon Jones said, I'll take over in left field as long as I can go. Now the wind is blowing straight away towards center field. And now Staub steps out because the wind apparently has blown something in. Garrett led off the last of the first, striking out. Leon bounced out. They're playing Staub the other way. They hit the other way, figuring now he can't pull. Other days they've been playing him to pull. Up high with the fastball, despite the fact everybody knows his right shoulder has been hurt. After seeing that his base hits have all gone the other way, and even his outs have gone to shortstop or left field, the A's have reversed their strategy and have swung around to the opposite field. And now again, Staub asks for time and steps out. 3-2, 2 outs. Again, we look around Shea Stadium, and again, we don't see any empty seats. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Vida Blue ready and throws the fastball. Lined out to left field. Rudy doesn't have to go too far to haul in the line drive. And there goes Staub again, hitting the other way. The runs, hits, or errors done left at the end of 1 in the 5th game of the World Series. There is no score.
You know, in comparing the Mets pitching matchups with the A's in this series, been some very interesting ones. For instance, Catfish Hunter against Tom Seaver, both reputed to be among the best. 2 different types of pitchers, but both with great results. Hunter, breaking ball, controls that pitcher, and Seaver, a hard, fast one. Tonight we see that same kind of a matchup from the other side. Koosman Good control pitcher. A lot of breaking balls. Vida Blue, just strictly power. Here we go in the second inning once again, Jim.
Gene Tennis, right-handed hitting second baseman and catcher playing, or first baseman and catcher playing first base tonight, leads it off, takes a fastball from Koosman outside. I'm checking here, the New York Mets in Game 3 got off to a big start with 2 quick runs in the first inning, and last night got 3 runs. Tonight they got none in the first. This one backs Tennis a little out of there, and he turns his head quickly to the side to avoid the high inside pitch. 2 balls, no strikes to Tennis, who against Koosman in the second game walked twice. Tennis, last year's hero, 9 RBIs, 4 home runs, is 3 for 12 this year. No score, top of the second. This breaking pitch misses outside. 3 balls, no strikes. Koosman, remember, walked Bando on 4 pitches. And his 4th pitch, he just aimed a fastball and missed. Tennis standing in, Koosman ready, and throws right down the middle. And a breaking pitch at that. 3 balls, 1 strike. Jesus Blue is on deck. Koosman, like Blue, working very fast. Another breaking pitch and another strike. Tennis started to walk toward first base. Their ball nicked the inside corner. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Herb Norton, the coach at third. Jerry Adair at first. Koosman ready on 3-2, and there's a breaking pitch, and Norton jumps out of the way in the coaching box, eluding the foul ball. Monty Moore and I would like to say hello to all of you listening on American Forces Radio in Europe and South America, the Far Eastern Network, and in Japan. Hello from New York for Game 5 of the World Series. 3-2. Koosman right back, took something off that, and Tennis is way out in front. Fouls it off into the A's dugout. 3-2. Last 2 pitches have been breaking balls. Tennis beginning to believe or wondering when and if Koosman's going to throw him the fastball. Throws him another breaking pitch. Curveball strikes him out. Well, that was the pattern of Koosman, as we told you, against those Reds. When you got your big hitters up there, don't throw them the fastball. The Reds like the fastball, and so do the Oakland A's. Here's Jesus Alou. Alou was 2 for 2 against Koosman in game number 2. 2 of his 3 hits in the series were against Jerry Koosman. Big, tall right-hander hits the ball anywhere and with not much power. And is going through now his deep knee bends and calisthenics in the batter's box, as Jesus always does. Swings the bat, doesn't have a quiet bat at all, watches a change, float high, ball 1. Well, the scoreboard reads the same for both teams here in the second. Nothing, nothing, and nothing. We've had 1 base runner, he walked. Now Lou drops the bat again. As Koosman started with one of those change-up breakings, he dropped the bat and stepped back and looked. It's 2-0. So Koosman throws him the fastball and misses with this, and it's 3-0. He went to 3-0 on Tennis and then got him swinging. Now he's to 3-0 on Alou. Another curveball drops in there. Even on 3-0, Koosman going to the curveball. Jerry is quite some competitor. He has been here before in the World Series. Comes back with another breaking ball. 1 big hop to Helson at shortstop, who throws him out for the second out. Well, how about that? Twice. Koosman took Tennis and Alou to 3-0 and got them both easily. Ray Fosse, the catcher, stepped in. He walked and reached on an error against Koosman in game number 2. 1 for 14. That is 1 hit last night. Right-handed hitter, former Cleveland pitcher, involved in a big play in an all-star game. He gets the breaking pitch down low, ball 1. But Pete Rose barreled into him. And he asked Ray Fosse even now, what was the highlight of your career? And he said, playing in that all-star game and having Pete Rose run into me at home plate. 1-0, another breaking pitch, and it's fouled off. Toward the A's dugout. Slow roller, 1 ball, 1 strike. Another breaking pitch, line drive, 1 hop to Helson. He's got it, takes a couple of steps, goes on to Milner, and they got him in a row. 1, 2, 3, down they go. At the end of 1 1/2, New York nothing and Oakland nothing. At Shea Stadium in New York, World Series game number 5. This is Monty Moore with Jim Simpson. There's no score. The Mets are yet to bat in the second inning.
is now a 2 out of 3 series. Out on the West Coast on Saturday, it'll be Catfish Hunter against Jim Seaver in another rematch. And if it goes to Sunday, probably Ken Holtzman for Oakland and John Matlack again for the New York Mets. Ready for the Mets to bat in the second. Cleon Jones comes on, and here's Jim.
And Jones waited until Vida Blue was almost through with his warm-up, just taking that last little extra bit of rest. This is the one who had the flu, was ill out in left field. In our first game here in New York, felt very badly last night, replaced by Theodore in the late innings, and now, despite the flu, feeling weak, he is in the lineup. He was 2 for 2, including a home run, plus a walk against Koosman in Game 2. 6 for 17, 353 is series average. Right-handed hitter with 11 home runs during the regular season. Vida Blue throws him a fastball too low, ball 1. Jones's home run off Vida Blue out at Oakland went to right field, down the right field line. He did not pull it at all. 1 ball, no strike. Blue, the left-hander, throws him another fastball. Line drive left field. Back goes Joe Rudy. It's past him, bouncing off the wall. Rudy picks it down. Jones on his way to second base. The throw to the cutoff man. He's in with a stand-up double. And Jones continues to hit Vida Blue.
Again, going almost now to straightaway left field, playing the carom off the screen very well. Then I'm sure, after trying to recover from a bout with the flu, pretty wobbly leg.
And suddenly a big streamer is coming out. Looks like a giant pink snake flying over the infield.
Well, Kurt, over the years, I've seen almost everything here at Shea. A giant pink snake wouldn't surprise me at all.
The way they used to play in the early years, there were a lot of people, I think, saw snakes and pink elephants there, didn't they? Jones at second, nobody out. John Milner, the batter, a strike to him. Milner is 5 out of 16. He's batting .313. That double by Cleon Jones was his second. Well, the Mets are threatening now. Runner at second, nobody out. No score in the game. Strike with a wicked fastball. 0-2. Talking about Vida Blue on the road. His record at Oakland this year, 8 wins and 6 losses. On the road, he won 12 and lost 3. There's a base hit to right. Here's Jones coming in to score. And the Mets lead 1-0.
There's no doubt that almost throughout this series, the Mets have been more aggressive with the bats.
Absolutely, Tony. They've been more aggressive, and this is one of the things I'm told that has bugged the A's, the fact that the Mets have been able to go out in front early in so many ball games, something they did not expect at all.
Second RBI of the series for John Milner. Brody can go to right field. Let's see if they put a hit and run on. They haven't been trying to steal, but they have been playing some hit and run, and successfully, too. Stop executed. An adroit hit and run play last night. High fly center field. Reggie Jackson drifting back. 1 down. Milner holds at first. Don Hahn, 3 out of 18. Batting .167. Cleon Jones draped in a blanket to keep him warm, playing with a flu. It came up in the second to lead off with a double. 1-0 New York. Last of the second. Strike 1. John Milner at first, 1 out. Fouled away, strike 2. Well, the Mets have scored first in all 3 games here at Shea Stadium. The A's got on the scoreboard first in the 2 games out at Oakland. Every team likes to get on the scoreboard first. They can gamble more, play some hit and run, steal, take chances. A ball. The other team has to play catch-up. Vida Blue with a 1-ball, 2-strike count to Don Hahn. Blue pitched in 4 games in the World Series last year. 3 times in relief. Gets it to shortstop Campaneris. There's 1, that's all. And we've been talking about Harrelson. A little tip of the hat to Bert Campaneris, who's been just as steady. They made all the plays, both of them.
Watch Bert Campaneris again, a man who's become a very accomplished shortstop. The ball just out of the grasp of Sal Bando, sliding in the hole and a good quick release to get the ball to Dick Green.
Bud Harrelson switch hitting. He's a .400 batter in this World Series, 6 out of 15. The Mets are leading 1-0. Don Hahn's at first base. There are 2 outs.
One thing that has surprised me about the A's pitching staff, with the exception of Catfish Hunter, is that Holtzman, Blue have not thrown many breaking balls. Holtzman has a good curveball. Blue has come up with a pretty good hard curve, but they just aren't throwing it to these Mets hitters.
Oh, you're right, Tony. They relied on the fastball. 1-ball, 1 strike. Most clubs are fastball hitting teams, too, in baseball. They don't like the old number 2. 1-ball, 1 strike. High fly deep to Rudy. He'll have room, though. The side's out. 1 run. 2 hits, no errors, 1 left. End of 2. Mets leading 1-0.
Dick Green leads off the Oakland third. Blue is on deck. As there's a strike on the outside corner from Jerry Koosman, who struck out Green twice. The last time he faced him in the World Series, Green has been up 7 times. Pitches inside, ball 1. 0 for 7, has been batted for in every game, and has struck out 5 of the 7 times he's been up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Koosman throws him the fastball down low, 2-1. 1-0 to score. The last of the second inning, Cleon Jones. Everybody was wondering whether he would play because of the flu. He is playing, double to left, and was singled home by Milner. Drive toward center field. Over to his right goes Don Hahn, waiting in the wind now, and has it for the first out of the Oakland third. Green flies to center. And that'll bring up Vida Blue. Vida Blue, not known as one of the great hitters, one of the good hitters, one of the fair hitters in baseball. As a matter of fact, in 1 year, 1971, Vida Blue, and remember how many times the pitcher gets up. Vida struck out 63 times. Right-handed pitcher takes low from Koosman. 1-0. 1 ball, no strike. Koosman ready, throws again, strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. The banners, the pennants that the Mets display around the stadium are being whipped by the wind. Now that they're swing and a miss by Vida Blue, that's 1 ball, 2 strikes. 341 down each foul line, but then you've got to go over a 10-foot wall beyond that. This is a big ballpark. 4-10 straight away. Strike 3, Blue strikes out. Strikeout number 3 for Jerry Koosman. And that'll bring up Campaneris, who bounced to third in the first inning. The power alleys, 371 and 396 in both left and right. It just floats away to that 410 dead center field. First pitch to Campaneris, ball 1. Russ gets behind the plate. Harry Wendelstedt of the National League at first. Marty Springstead of the American League at second. Augie Donatelli of the National League at third. Jerry Newdecker of the American League down the left field line. Paul Pryor of the National League down the right field line. There's another call strike. The Campy Campaneros. 1 ball, 1 strike. Joe Rudy stands on deck. Another pitch, hit off the fist, a little looper. Harrelson goes back beyond him at second base, and Campaneros reaches with a little, almost broken bat. He certainly hit it off the fist. Texas leaguer just out in the short center field. And that's the first hit of Jerry Koosman, the second base runner, in this 1-0 ball game. And here is Joe Rudy. Sal Bando was saying before the very first game, I'm going to pick a hero for the World Series, and it's going to be one of ours. Last year was Gene Tennis. It's going to be Joe Rudy. Well, Rudy had 3 RBIs, 6 for 17, a 353 average. And he has made some outstanding defensive play. There's the pickoff play, and Campaneros back at first base. Well, Campy was never at first base against Koosman in that second game. He had a triple, but was never at first base to be able to read the move of Jerry Koosman. So he's experimenting and takes a pretty good lead. Breaking pitch, Brody goes behind him down to first base safe. Campaneros might have had a base stolen. He started trying to read Koosman's move. Koosman came home, and Campy took a half a step and then retreated quickly. He was so far off the bag that Brody had a chance to get him at first base, and very nearly did. 1-0 to Rudy. Rudy was thrown out on a good play by Harrelson in the second inning. Campaneros taking that lead again, trying to get in scoring position so Rudy can drive him in. There's the play, and he is going to be picked off. Got him looking the wrong way. Campaneros could not read Jerry Koosman at all. Fooled twice, the second time it cost him. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, none left. We go to the last of the third, 1-0 New York. Windelstedt, the first base umpire, and challenging Jerry Koosman balked, and taking a look at the videotape replay in slow motion, his foot, the front foot, definitely came towards home plate. Campaneros was nailed completely at the bag, but you can see why if you see the replay, because Koosman either has a super move. Now Dick Williams is going to the home plate umpire, Russ Getz, and he thinks Getz should have called the balk also. Also, he's shifting from a National League umpire that's been watching Koosman all season long to an American League umpire to say, hey, call it like it is in the American League. Koosman has been accused of this before. And guess who's stepping to the plate? Jerry Koosman. 0 for 1 in the World Series game Sunday afternoon. And he has a 1-0 lead on the double by Jones to lead off the second and the run-scoring single by John Milner. We are Vida Blue to throw to Koosman, and there's a fly ball foul down the right field line, dropping into the stands about 12 rows deep. On deck is the leadoff batter, Wayne Garrett. Vida Blue staring in. Strangely enough tonight, there's been no activity in either bullpen thus far. Fastball is up high, 1 ball, 1 strike. Pitchers have been pitching well, but that in itself is a strange occurrence on both sides, as no pitcher has completed the ball game yet, nor did they all last year in the Oakland-Cincinnati World Series. There's a swinging strike, too, and 31 pitches have been used until tonight in the World Series. 31 in the first 4 games. So those bullpens have been very active. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Blue back with another fastball and strikes him out with a high swinging strikeout. Strikeout number 2. Struck out Garrett, who's coming up to bat right now to lead off the first inning. Garrett with those 2 home runs in World Series play. Nobody was on either time, but he certainly ignited a rally 2 nights ago against Captain Hunter. Left-hander to left-hander, and the fastball is up high, ball 1. Well, can you imagine on Saturday afternoon a rematch of Tom Seaver and Catfish Hunter? And then if we go to Sunday, John Matlack and Ken Holtzman again. 1 ball, no strike, fastball, swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. And as Monty pointed out, the feeling of the Oakland players is, let's get this man Koosman tonight, because we've got Mr. Terrific Tom Seaver and John Matlack if we go to Sunday. Let's get the edge tonight. We'll need it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Back again. Swinging strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The air has died for the moment, and thus the debris that's been flying through the air has disappeared for the moment. Playing Garrett across the pole to right. Vida Blue back with the paddle, misses high. 2-2. Here it's beyond a deck. You keep waiting for the key play, not a key base hit or a fine pitching performance, but the way these teams have been going, there's a fastball that misses at 3-2. Someone has made the key error that has opened the door in every game thus far played. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Garrett with 1 out in the third. Vida Blue back, throws in the fastball and gets the call, strike 3. Garrett knew it, walked it away. The ball popped out of Fosse's glove, and Garrett wasn't running. He allowed himself to be tagged, and that was it. Leon bounced back to tennis, Blue covered, and was tossed out, swinging at the first pitch back in the first inning. Leon was 0 for 3 against Vida Blue Sunday. Blue is ready and throws inside. Ball 1. Temperature at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, that's 10 minutes ago here in New York, was 50 degrees, so it hasn't dropped yet into the 40s. Fastball catches the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. But it will. And the wind is blowing, so the chill factor must be well down. Another high fastball. And now the airplanes that have been flying over here in lights spelling out "Let's Go Mets" tonight fly over with "You Gotta Believe," which of course is the Mets.
We're getting ready to go into the top half of the 4th inning of a very fast-moving ball game. The Oakland A's, who have not hit well in the series at all, had only 1 hit tonight. They had only 3 for the entire game last night. 2 hits, and they put them back-to-back for their only run of the game, and it's 1-0 New York.
Joe Rudy, who was at bat when Campaneris was picked off first base in the 3rd inning, comes up to lead off the 4th. Rounded out to Harrelson, made a good play on him back in the 1st inning. 1-0. Koosman throws, and Rudy takes inside. During the regular season, the home run totals of Reggie Jackson, Sal Bando, and Gene Tennis totaled 85 for the 3. The Mets as a team had 85 home runs. Yet in the World Series, the Mets have out-homered the A's, who have none. 1 ball, no strikes. Outside, Koosman misses. 2-0. Which should tell you something. As we said, everybody said the big red machine of Cincinnati would mow them down. Oakland's got a powerful swinging club, and they do. Both teams do. But the combined earned run average, as we said before, against Cincinnati and Oakland since the playoffs began, 1.67. That is some pitching. 2-0. Drive hit off the fist and out toward right field. Leon circles back on the grass near Staub and takes it for the first out. And maybe it's the way hitters talk, but all the Cincinnati hitters and some of the Oakland hitters that I've talked to all say the same thing. The Mets pitching just isn't that superb. Their hitters are out hitting us. But the fact remains, the Cincinnati and Oakland hitters have yet to solve this Mets task. May before it's all over. Sal Bando walked on 4 pitches back in the first, up for the second time. Koosman throws him a strike at the knee. Strike 1 to Sal Bando. Koosman ready, throws him an off-speed pitch. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. The Mets have their 1 run on 2 hits, no errors. Oakland has no runs with 1 hit That was Campaneris' Texas leaguer, and Noel. Pitched on another changeup. Bounced off the high glove and pulled down by one barehanded drive by Helson, but too late. Garrett went for it, looked like he had it all the way, and it took a crazy hop up off his glove. Helson leaped behind him and came down with it in his bare hand, but by that time, Bando was across the bag. And that'll bring up Reggie Jackson, and we keep looking to see whether it's a hit or an error.
Jim, I believe if Harrelson hadn't have gotten that ball cleanly, Bando could have made it to second because Jones was watching the play in left field, and it would have gone down the line a little ways.
Reggie Jackson struck out. It is a hit. Jackson lays off a off-speed breaking pitch, ball one. Well, the two hits off Koosman thus far, Texas League single to short center, and a bouncer off the glove that took a weird hop, the glove of Wayne Garrett. Swing and a miss by Reggie Jackson. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jackson struck out swinging on a 3-2 count on a Koosman fastball to end the first with Bando at first base. Now he's got Bando at first base with 1 out here in the fourth. Koosman throws him an off-speed pitch. Changed just a little bit. Jackson held up and is called strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The wind has sprung up again, this time blowing toward left. It'll do anything. Koosman ready. Line drive on 1 hop to beyond. Over to second to Helson, back to first base. Double play. No runs, 1 hit. No errors, and none left. To the last of the fourth we go. The New York Mets won. The Oakland A's, nothing.
With Jim Simpson in New York, the Mets lead the Oakland A's 1-0. This is Game 5 of a tied-up World Series. Vida Blue against Jerry Koosman. The A's so far, no runs and 2 hits. The Mets 1 run and 2 hits.
Rusty Staub, up in Montreal, he was the darling Legrand Orange, and down here in New York, he has become the darling this year. Hurt last year in his first year with the Mets, had a bad hand injury, held him off much of this year from being totally effective, but in the late part of the season and in the playoffs and now in the World Series, Staub has been something else. He worked Blue to a 3-2 count in the first inning and then lines to Joe Rudy in left field. Blue throws him a fastball, a strike, and a good-looking fastball. Strike to Staub. Rusty will not wear a long-sleeved undershirt under that blouse of his. I don't care how cold it gets. Pitches outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Everywhere else you look, all of the players have that undershirt, but Staub, no. Considering he was born and raised in New Orleans, went pretty good. Of course, he was up in Montreal. There's a hard curve or a slider, it looks like.
Vida throws a hard curve once in a while. He quit throwing the slow one. He was really getting hurt with it.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Now, I guess, Monty, that Rusty learned not to wear the jersey up in Montreal. This is fouled back and out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mets lead it 1-0. We're in the fourth.
People have been commenting the last couple of days what it would have been like had Montreal have won the National League Championship. These night games would have been played up there. I don't know what the temperature is like up there right now, but there would have been a good possibility it might have been a little cooler than this.
Well, they tell me had Minnesota won it, and they've been playing tonight, it would have been 18 degrees. 1-2. Blue throws fastball, and boy, Staub just could get a piece of that. He was bailing out, swinging all at the same time. The ball was in on him, and he just fouled it off the handle of his bat. Still 1-2. Well, the press will take off 3 hours after game time tonight and fly back to the West Coast. But the teams will wait until tomorrow. 1-2. Fastball misses, just misses inside. 2-2. Kneeling on deck is Cleon Jones, who doubled the lead off the second and scored the game's only run. Lou Reddy throws him another fastball, misses outside, and he's gone to 3-2 on Staub here in the fourth, as he did in the first. And again, we'll report. But the A's are playing Rusty to hit the other way, toward left. Comes back, and he hits toward left. Line drive past the glove of Campaneris. I thought Cappy would have it, but it curved away from his glove for a base hit. And Staub has hit number 8. And don't you think he is not a leading contender for the most valuable player in this World Series? 5 RBIs and now 8 hits.
Completely out of his mind, except that pitcher and that ball on its way. Campaneris looked like he touched it. Made a nice try.
Hey, Tony and Lindsay, the way he's hitting in this series with a bad shoulder, just reaching out and slapping the ball to left, maybe he'll get ideas of changing his style next year.
Well, you know, he did that along in mid-season because he couldn't pull and then pull late in the year.
Jones goes around. Jones double to left first time up. 1-0, New York ahead. They're batting in the last of the 4th. They have 3 hits. The A's have 2 hits. Dobbs on first, nobody out. Well, we're in the 5th game. Rusty Staub already has 8 hits. Yogi Berra likes his style. The World Series record is 13 hits, held by Tony's close friend and former roommate Bobby Richardson in 64, and Lou Brock in 68. And it's a base hit up the middle. Staub is stopping at second. Cleon Jones, he should have the flu every night. He's 2 out of 2.
Last 2 nights, it's been a case of the walking wounded supplying a lot of the power.
Dick Williams has Wes Stock, his pitching coach, on the phone right now, calling down the bullpen to get someone ready.
Nobody's emerged out there. All right, the Mets have runners on first and second. Nobody out. They're ahead 1-0. John Milner, a pull hitter. He can hit the right and get those runners over. Leslie puts the bunt down. And I think they had him hitting away. 1 ball, no strike. He'll try and get that ball, slap at the right or hit at the right field. Move those runners on. Time is called. Cleon Jones tying his shoelace at first base. Raleigh Fingers, who didn't work last night, is starting to warm up now for the A's. The A's don't want to go home behind, so they're getting Fingers up early, the ace of their bullpen. They don't want to drop too far out of this game. 1 ball, no strike. No strike. The New York Mets in last place in July. Last place, I think, from June 28th into August.
August 30th, as a matter of fact.
At one time, they were 12.5 games behind.
They were.
And they won the pennant. Right now, they're leading in Game 5. A beautiful bunt. Blue plays it to third. And only the athletic ability of Vida Blue kept that from being a successful sacrifice.
One of the toughest plays in baseball for a third baseman and that catcher coordinating his play. Blew off very quickly, almost down the third base foul line. That play easier for a left-handed pitcher as he is moving in that direction. Does not have to whirl completely around like a right-handed pitcher to make a throw to third base. Blue really fielded his position well and got a good quick throw off to Bando.
The Mets were 12 behind after the game to July 4th. And tradition says that the team in first place on July 4th should be the winner of the pennant. It doesn't work out that way. Always. Ball 1. The Giants had a great rush in 51. They were 13.5 behind in August. The Mets were way behind in August, too. 11.5 games in August 5th. And won it. The Boston Braves were in last place in 1914, July 4th, the halfway mark, won the pennant and swept the World Series from Connie Mack's A's in 4 games. 2 balls, no strikes for Jerry Grody. Jones at second. Milner at first. Now what's the sign? Eddie Yost, who used to be the walking man with the Washington Senators. I think 8 seasons he walked over 100 times. There's a pop. Gene Tennis will have room. And it's 2 down. I broadcast the Red Sox many years, used to watch Eddie Yost play. Lindsay, he crowded the plate and always had a habit on an inside pitch of tucking his belly in to make it look like it was way inside. And they used to complain and complain, but he always got that ball 4.
Excuse me, Lindsay. He used to get up on his toes and a pitch around the knees. Anything up around the shoulders, he would crouch.
Oddly enough, deceptively, he had power and hit many leadoff home runs.
Don Hahn up for the Mets. Hit into a force play his first time. The Mets have runners on first and second. 2 out. They're leading 1-0. Blue fires a fastball across. Rollie Fingers continues to warm up. Rusty style. Of Rusty. Had a sign here. I'm lusty for Rusty last night. 1 strike. Foul right over our NBC booth. The Mets have 1 run, 4 hits. The A's no runs, 2 hits. You're looking at the base runners. Milner at second. Jones at second. Milner for Mrs. Payson, the owner of the New York Mets. A 2-strike delivery. Foul ball again. No balls, 2 strikes to Don Hahn.
The hitters who bat against Vida Blue, as opposed to a couple of years ago when he was a Cy Young Award winner, say he throws just as hard at time, but apparently his ball does not move around in the strike zone, not as lively. It is straighter.
Up high with a fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jones at second. Milner at first. 2 out. Don Hahn played to the opposite field except for Rudy, who straight away and left for him. Sharply hit the Campaneris for Fuchs. And the Mets have the bases loaded. Campaneris overran that ball.
The ball got on Campy much more quickly than he thought. He didn't get a chance to get down on the ball. See, he's caught in between his hop as he tried to plant that right foot. Fortunately, he was able to knock it down with his glove, preventing a run from scoring.
An error charged to Campaneris. That's Campaneris' first error of the series. The 8th error for the Oakland A's. The Mets have made 6 errors. Bases loaded. Harrelson up. Harrelson pops it up. Gene Tennis waving his arm. I've got it, and he does. The Mets had no.
Gene Tennis leads off the 5th against Jerry Koosman, who throws him that big, slow curve. Boy, Koosman really loves to go to work on the big hitters with that breaking stuff rather than the fastball. Comes back with another one. Swing. Strike 2. In the second inning, Koosman couldn't find the reins initially, went to 3-0, and then struck out Tennis on a curveball, swinging. Now he's 0-2 and throws him another one. That Tennis leans across the plate, almost went for it. Was out of the strike zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You're going to have to hit a good curveball if you're going to hit it out of here against Koosman. Comes back with another one. Grounded foul towards third base. Backhanded there by Wayne Garrett. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Matlack and Seaver are known as power pitchers. Koosman has all the power in the world, too. Not as much as he had in 1969 when he won 2 games, but still plenty, but goes to that big curve. Now he throws the fastball that misses inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Mets got their 1 run in the second inning on a leadoff double by Cleon Jones and a single on an 0-2 count by John Milner. They threatened again in the last of the 4th. Another breaking pitch stays inside, and he's gone to 3-2. To Tennis again. On the second inning, on a 3-2 count, he threw him a beautiful curve, and Dean struck out swinging. He remembers that. Koosman remembers that. Let's watch. He throws him the curveball, pops it up, foul out of play. Still 3-2. Wind is now blowing in. Koosman ready and throws him a pitch that is too low. Ball 4. And Jerry Koosman has issued his second walk. And the 4th Oakland A reaches base. Jesus Alou, who also went to 3-0 before grounding to Helton at shortstop, back in the second inning, is up. Alou is 3 for 15 in the series. Remember, he was 2 for 2 against Jerry Koosman in game number 2 of the World Series. Mets lead it by 1. Top of the 5th. Fastball pops up. Brody behind the plate, tosses away his mask, has plenty of room and has the ball. 1 out. That'll bring up Ray Fosse, 1 for 15 in the series. Got a base hit last night in the top of the 5th to lead it off. Looking down to Irv Norn. Green is out on deck. By this time, usually in the World Series, has been batted for. The pitch to Fosse, strike at the knees, and Ray turns around and looks at Russ Getz, the American League umpire. Hahn respects Fosse, plays him very deep, as does Jones and left. They play him straight away. Breaking pitch misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Koosman, born in Minnesota, now lives in Morris, Minnesota. His opposite number, Vida Blue, born and lives in Mansfield, Louisiana. 1-1. Koosman ready, throws in the big curve again, fouled, and goes into the A's dugout. 1-2. Mets lead by a run in the top of the 5th. The A's trying to get something going. They haven't had much going since Tuesday night. Pitch is inside under the hand. 2 balls, 2 strikes. They lost 6-1 last night with just 3 hits. They had no runs tonight with just 2 hits. Two to Fosse. Pickoff play at first base. Diving back is Tennis, who wasn't very far off the bag. Nevertheless, he took a headlong dive. Tennis only attempted to steal 4 times during the regular season. Fouled out of play by Fosse. Off to the right. Koosman ready and throws too low, and it's 3-2. With 1 out, 3-2. We'll see whether or not Tennis is going. Koosman looks toward him. He is on his way, and the ball is hit down the line, foul into the right field seat. So they were running Gene Tennis with just 1 out and a count of 3-2. Tennis has a fair lead even now. He's on his way again. The ball is hit out to right center field, falling toward beyond over the head. Turns in, throws to first base, is up the line. Miller dives back. He's safe at first base. Almost a sensational double play.
Staub is to him. The ball bounding in his glove. Look at that, a near collision. Neither one hurt, and now an off-balance throw that nearly gets Gene Tennis coming back in. Watch again as Staub and Mian, after Mian throws the ball. Near collision, and they've had enough injuries on this team all season long. They don't need another one.
Who says there's no action in baseball? Crowd applauded Mian's grab and Milner's hustling dive for first base, where he smothered his uniform in the dirt. Dick Green fly to center his first time. 2 down for the A's. Gene Tennis still on first. The A's are trailing 1-0. There's a high fly out to deep center. Don Hahn settling under it. And that's it. No runs, no hits, 1 left. We're halfway through. And the score, Mets 1, A's 0.
Hello again from New York. Jim Simpson with Monty Moore. The Oakland A's have yet to get a man as far as second base. The New York Mets have had several as far as second base and have the game's only run. Cleon Jones led off with a double in the second inning and scored on John Milner's single. They had Vida Blue and the A's in trouble in the fourth, but he got out of it with some fine pitching, retiring Bud Held. So it's 1-0 New York as we go to the last of the fifth, and we come back to Monty Moore.
Okay, Jim, and Koosman is the batter against Vida Blue, who hasn't walked anybody. He struck out 3, and the Mets have the 4 hits. Here's Vida's first pitch of the inning, and it's a strike. 2 of the Mets' 4 base hits have been off Vida's hard-breaking pitch. He calls it a slurve. It's right between a curve and a slider. There's a fastball swung on and missed, strike 2. Garrett and Mian will follow, and what a play by Felix Mian. It could have saved a big inning. Vida's 0-2 pitch. Fouled upstairs here at Shea Stadium. The Mets got there, and in the second inning, a leadoff double by Cleon Jones ripped hard to the left field wall. Then, with a no-ball, 2-strike count, Milner got a pitch he could pull and threaded it through the right side of the infield. The pitch to Koosman is thrown right by him. It's the Blue Blazer leading him up there, and that's the 4th Vida Blue strikeout of the night. 1 down in the 5th. Here's Wayne Garrett. An odd bit of statistical look at Vida Blue's season. In his last 5 starts of the regular season, he was scored on in only 1 game, yet he wasn't striking out very many. And he, of course, was a strikeout pitcher with over 300 2 years ago. Garrett takes a knee-high fastball for a strike. Vida struck Garrett out twice in this game. Some balloon benders doing pretty well in this ballpark, only most of them are ending up out on the field. Vida misses outside with a pitch, hits the ball on a strike. Wayne Garrett, he's number 11 for New York, and here's a 1-1 pitch to him, up high, ball 2. The home run he hit off Vida Blue was on a fastball, and it was right down the middle. Bell time. 2-1 pitch. A little high. He's 3-1 on him. Garrett hoping for a walk tonight. He's having a hard time picking up Vida's fastball, and if Vida will put him on free of charge, that'll be just fine for Garrett. Now the young lefty comes in there, and it is a strike call. Garrett looks as if he'd just been struck in the back with a dull knife. He didn't like that call at all by Russ Getz. Three and 2 again. Walked him this time, ball 4. So the Mets got a man on with 1 out, and here's Felix Mian, one of the best bat handlers in the National League. Getting a great round of applause for his outstanding play on the blooper hit on a hit-and-run play by Ray Fosse.
Oh, he went a long ways for that ball and actually collided with Rusty Staub, the right fielder, just about the time he threw it. Now Garrett has asked for time at first base, and he's talking to his first base coach, Ron McMillan, acting as if he had some sand in his eyes, but I would imagine that he saw some sign he didn't recognize and said, hey, wait a minute. Did I see this or didn't I? He gets a good lead. Here's a pitch. Pitch out, and it's a wild pitch all the way into the stand area. Vida Blue on a pitch out threw the ball over the catcher's head.
Possible in a situation like this. Blue just cut it loose a little too far. Fossey could not get up. He made a good try to stop it. Dick Williams maybe thought he had picked up a signal from Eddie Yost, but he didn't.
It's scored as a wild pitch, and here comes Wes Stock, the pitching coach, out to the mound now to talk to Vida Blue. We're going to get some action done in the bullpen of the Oakland A's. They get Raleigh Fingers up again. Raleigh Fingers is up and throwing for the second time tonight. That's he. Runner at second, one man out on a 1-0 count to Millan at the plate. The Mets got their run in the second inning. And Cleon Jones double. John Milner singled him home. Ground ball to the right side, taken at first base by Tennis. He slips down, gets up, goes unassisted. Moving to third. On the infield out is Wayne Garrett, and Rusty Staub is coming up. Rusty Staub, a young fellow who has invested in a raft of businesses in Montreal, where he was known as Le Grand Orange, has an apartment in New York where he plays, is a native of New Orleans where he frequently visits his parents, and his legal address is Houston, Texas. Yogi Berra. Two men out, runner at third. Mets are batting in the bottom of the fifth inning. Dick Williams. That's in for a called strike to Rusty Staub. Strike one delivery. Fouled it off and out of play. 0-2.
I think a Staub, as we look at Garrett at third, is a great study for young kids who might be looking in. With that sore shoulder, just chopping away at the ball. He's still hitting the ball hard, hitting it with authority. You don't have to swing hard.
This is his 11th professional year, and it's his first World Series, and he was the hero of last night's game, and believe me, he savored every moment of it. Ground ball to short. Campaneris over to Tennis, and the side is out.
Hello again from New York. Jim Simpson with Monty Moore. And again, we have now gone through 5 full innings. They've been working on the groundskeepers, and again, we'll repeat what the score is. It is 1-0. With the situations that it is the Mets who've had all the scoring opportunities, taking advantage of the first one in the second inning after the Jones double. Milner drove him home with a single. Then they had back-to-back base hits in the fourth inning. Had the bases loaded with 2 outs before Harrison popped out. Garrett walked, was wild pitch to second, moved to third, but Staub couldn't bring him home. As for the A's, they haven't had a man as far as second base. Vida Blue leads off the 6th. It's 1-0. Here's Monty. Blue, Campaneris, and Rudy will bat for Oakland, at least here in the 6th inning. And Jerry Koosman, working on a shutout, throws. Vida takes a strike, taking a bunt. Vida runs pretty well, and when pitchers were hitting the American League regularly for themselves, he used to bunt quite a bit. Pitch to him, swung on and fouled off. Strike 2. Koosman started 35 times for New York this year, and he finished what he started 12 times. That's how many complete games he had. 0-2 pitch. Vida down swinging, and Koosman gets his 4th strikeout there. It's 1 out in the 6th inning. Here's Bert Campaneris. The A's road-running shortstop got a single in the third inning and was picked off by Koosman at first base. The pitch to Cappy is outside, ball one. The A's screamed balk as Koosman got that front foot. Instead of pointing it over towards first as he threw the ball, he had it down towards home plate. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Campanera takes a strike. Once in a while, Koosman can really pop that fastball, and he gets it in on you pretty easily. One impressive factor about the Mets pitching staff, you have to earn everything you get. All of their pitchers have good control. They very rarely ever give you anything. Koosman tonight has walked only 2. Stick Campanera to the breaking ball outside, 2-1. If the pitchers aren't giving you much, it takes a lot of base hits to score many runs. 2-1 delivery. Fouled off. Comes right back onto the screen and rolls back down to the playing surface. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. The series moves out to the west coast of Oakland for Saturday and Sunday games. Sunday if needed. 2-2 pitch to Campanera. Up high, ball 3. And there are some 2,000 tickets left for sale at the Oakland Coliseum for Saturday and Sunday ball games. They can be picked up at the Oakland A's ticket office on the Coliseum level anytime tomorrow, 9 to 5. 3-2 to Campanera. Ball 4, he walks it. So Campanera will get another look at Jerry Koosman's best pickoff move. In a 1-run ball game, Campanera, who led the American League in stolen bases 5 out of 6 years, is definitely a threat to go. This year, another Oakland A's player who is not in the playoffs or the World Series, Billy Norris, the center fielder, led the league in stolen bases from the opening day until 13 days from the end of the season, when he tore some ligaments in his ankle on a freak play at first base in Minnesota. And then Tommy Harper, the Boston Red Sox, saw that he had a chance to win that big trophy that goes with it and the $500 cash award, and Tommy went off like a streak in the last 2 weeks and won it by 1 stolen base over the injured Billy Norris. Campanera at 34 for the year. Here is Joe Rudy, 0 for 2 tonight. Koosman's done a good job on him. Throw to first base. Campy's back in there. It's going to be mighty hard to get a jump on Koosman. He appears to have the best move to first base of any of the Met pitchers. He comes to the plate. Rudy takes up high. Rudy had a home run in the World Series last year. He hit it in Cincinnati. Oakland still has not hit a home run in this World Series, and this is the 5th game. Throw to first base. Koosman looks to the plate, but throws to first. Campanera has stolen 3 bases in the series. Rudy lays the bat right on his right shoulder. Koosman to first base again. Campanera slides in there. In the 10th moment, in the 7th game of the World Series last year, John Odom of Oakland threw to first base 8 straight times trying to get Joe Morgan. Finally, Morgan took off running, and catcher Dave Duncan threw him out at second. The pitch to Rudy. High pop-up behind the plate. It may be a play for Jerry Gordy. He's holding up. He's got it. Campanera tags at first, but he's not going to second. Rusty Staub, the right fielder, comes in from right field to cover first base in behind Campanera, but Campy got back. With the catcher making a catch by the screen, the first baseman Milner went out on the mound to cut off any throw by the catcher. Campanera went halfway down to second. Rusty Staub came all the way in from right field to cover first base and try to pick Campanera's off. Now there are 2 down, and here is Sal Bando. Koosman just got a big out in getting the hot-hitting Joe Rudy. The throw to first. Campanera
Makes it back standing up this time. Bando has walked and singled in the game. It's 1-0 New York leading. To the plate with a pitch. Bando popped through. What a cut he had on that pitch. It wouldn't take too much of an extra base hit to score Campaneris. With 2 down, he would have his head down and be running on anything. He wouldn't have to wait to see if it were going to be caught. So Bando is after the long one here. 1 strike count. Koosman goes to first again, and Campaneris is back in there. Another throw to first. A little better move this time. Campy beats it back again. Dick Williams up on the top step of the Oakland dugout to watch Koosman's move now. Here's a pitch. Bando swings through a fastball, missing strike 2. Gary Koosman with a count of no balls and 2 strikes on Sal Bando with 2 down and Campaneris at first base. Campy gets a big lead, draws a throw. 3 steps, puts him back in on the bag. With the runner at first, Koosman stands with his right foot a little behind the left one. Here's a throw to first again. If he ever takes that right leg behind the pitcher's rubber in the middle of his motion back, he's got to go to the plate. He can't take it behind the rubber and go to first. A pitch to the plate. It is up high, says the plate umpire, and he appeals at the first base umpire, and he agrees. Bando started a swing, but didn't let it go. Gary Godey asked the plate umpire to appeal to the first base umpire, and he did. And he said no swing. Now the throw to first. Campaneris hops back in the bag. Koosman down to the waist. The pitch. Bando hits one foul off the left field line. Koosman pulled up on him that time a little bit on the speed department, and Bando was out front and jerked it off the end of the crowd on the left side.
Monty and Turners, we must report, and looking at the instant replay, it looked to us as though Bando had gone around. Maybe it'll be a harmless moment, but it could be costly.
Here's the pitch to Bando. Slow curve, and it's just outside. Ball 3, and he had Bando fooled. If that ball were over the plate, Bando had had it. He had that bat back and couldn't have pulled the trigger. So the count rides along at 2-2 as Campaneris, away from first base, is holding the pitch. Bando hits the grounder to third, right off the foot of Garrett. He's not going to get anybody. The ball did not come up for Wayne Garrett, the third baseman. It stayed right down on the ground and hit him on the feet. Stayed right at his feet, and the A's now gets the door knocked open, and here is Reggie Jackson, who has been long, long overdue to do something with a bat in this series. It's an error on Wayne Garrett, the Mets third baseman. Garrett got caught in between there a little bit. He didn't know whether to come in on the ball or go back on it. That's the first Oakland runner that has been in scoring position in this game as far as second base. Reggie Jackson, a strikeout victim in the first inning, and he ripped one hard, but right on one hop to the second baseman in the fourth inning, it was turned into a double play. Campaneris, the runner at second. The Mets play Jackson, swung away around to the right side. Koosman at the belt. Here's his pitch to Jackson. Curveball outside. It's 1-0. Reggie Jackson had one of his biggest series of the season at Yankee Stadium in New York against the Yankees this year. But here at Shea Stadium, he has done very little. It's 1-0, New York leading. Top of the sixth inning. Koosman takes too long, and Jackson, who doesn't like to wait at that plate very long when he gets set, asks for time. Now everybody's ready, and Koosman delivers. Jackson check swing foul ball. It goes into the left field stands, out of play. Reggie tried to peel away from a high inside pitch. He left the bat up there, and the ball hit it. One ball, one strike count. There are two down, and there are two on. Veteran left-hander Jerry Koosman throws to Jackson. Ground ball to the shortstop. Harrelson playing in perfectly. Steps on second and forces out Bando. Reggie Jackson hit another rocket, but the Mets scouting report has him zeroed perfectly. Bud Harrelson, the shortstop, behind second base, fielded the hard grounder and stepped in the bag to force Bando, and still the Mets won and the A's nothing. Top of the sixth inning here in chilly New York, as the temperature now has gone into the 40s, as Cleon Jones came late to the ballpark with the flu, had to leave early from the game last night, and actually was ill in left field on Tuesday night. But tonight, he's doing something right. He is doubled and has been driven home as the game's only run. Then later he singled in the fourth. He's 2 for 2 and leads off the Mets 6. Monty? Vida Blue has given up 4 hits in the game. He'll face 2 of the men who have gotten 3 of them in this inning. And here's the first one, Cleon Jones. Boy, that Bud Harrelson just continues to be one of the stars of this series. He's got to be in the right place, and he was definitely down on Reggie Jackson. Vida starts Jones off with a fastball, knee-high strike on the outside corner. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Line drive to deep left field. Joe Rudy's going back at the wall. He makes another unbelievable catch. Joe Rudy makes a backhanded leaping catch. Crashes into the fence in left field, holds on as he falls over.
Last night he climbed the wall with a leaping grab. This was an even better catch.
It was that. He took one away from Don Hahn last night, and this one, he really pulled in.
Well, he makes him in the World Series in Cincinnati last year in the opening game. A leaping grab up the wall. Reggie Jackson giving him a little kidding out there. Joe Romo, the trainer. Some of the bullpen boys coming out. Darrell Knowles in the jacket. Raleigh fingers to see if he's all right. Looked like it might be his left wrist.
Might have been very lucky that it is not a concrete or a wooden wall out there, and that screen may have eased the burden a little bit, or the onus of that blow. Jones really cracked it. It appeared like it was going out of the ballpark at first. Rudy playing a little bit shallow. Then the ball started sinking. Had that top spin. What a great play. The play of the series so far. Fortunately, he did not hit the fence head on. Here's another angle. Going into that fence at a little bit of an angle. No chance to break his speed. Curtis.
Here's the whole play again. I think when he smacked his left hand, this is from the center field camera, coming at you now. And watch him when he hits the iron fence out there, or the screen, pushing his left hand to brace himself up against the fence is where he might have been in trouble. Look at him, how he reached over and hit that left hand against the fence. And that might have put some pressure on his wrist.
John Milner's at the plate now. He drove in the Met run in the second inning. He's 1 for 2.
Your attention, please.
Time call, and they're going to ask that a banner be removed down in the right field corner. That one is in fair territory, so they're going to ask that it be pulled in.
Lindsay, I saw one banner tonight in back of the A's dugout. When Dick Williams came out, he held it up and said, "Yankee, go home." Williams is rumored, you know, going to retire from the A's and become the next manager of the Yankees.
All right, here's John Milner, who knocked in the game's only run. Left-handed batter. Vida had a no-ball, 2-strike count on him and hung one on the inside. Here's a pitch. Inside, ball 1. Fast-moving game. Jerry Koosman has been outstanding. Pitches up high. 2 balls and no strikes. Vida Blue's pitched an outstanding game. What would you think? 85, 90% of the regular season. If you hold a team for 1 run for 6 innings, you're in the ball game. Here's the pitch. Outside a ball, and Vida's now gone 3-0 on left-handed John Milner. Raleigh Fingers and Darrell Knowles are both throwing in the Oakland bullpen. Vida Blue needing some strikes. Comes to the plate. Gets 1. It's 3-1 now. Now the Louisiana lefty cuts loose again. There's a bouncing ball dragged to the right side. Gene Tennis has it. Tossed it underhanded to Vida Blue, covering just ahead of the oncoming runner, and there are 2 away. So there's 2 down, and here's Jerry Grody. New York Mets and the Oakland A's are tied up 2 games apiece. In a World Series that started on the West Coast in Oakland, the A's won first game, the Mets the second. Here's the pitch to Grody. Up high, ball 1. The game to New York, the A's won the first game in New York. The Mets leveled it last night, and now they're playing it off. Somebody will go to the West Coast, needing only 1 win to wrap up the championship. There's a line in the left field, base hit. Jerry Grody rams one out over the shortstop's head. Boy, he went down and got that one. I believe it was Vida's curveball that he hit then. Here's Don Hahn. Hit number 5 for the Mets. Don Hahn has twin brothers who are baseball players for Santa Clara University out in the Bay Area. Matter of fact, he's a twin himself. That family has 2 sets of twins. He's 0 for 2 in this game. Vida's pitched to him, swinging strike 1, and Hahn could have started swinging at that one when he left the dugout and still might have been a little late. 1 strike count on the right-handed batting center fielder for the Mets, who's done quite a job for them. It's not an easy job to step in for number 24 in New York. That would be Willie Mays, who handed the job over to this young fella. The 0-1 pitch, swinging strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes. 2 out, 6th inning. The Mets are leading 1-0. The temperature is under 50 now by 2 degrees. It's 48 degrees and windy in New York. But I don't know anywhere I'd rather be. Vida's 0-2 pitch. Oh, that ball must have hit the bat behind. He tried to get it out of the way, and it'll hit the A's catcher, Ray Fosse. Hahn started to swing, couldn't get it out of the way. I would imagine, Jim, on the American Forces Network, there are some people listening that might be listening in an area where it's 48 degrees below zero. Or they might think at 48 is pretty warm. But it's very windy here in New York. No balls, 2 strikes to count. Vida's pitch. Inside the Hahn. Came close to the kitchen with that one. Vida Blue's been in a lot more trouble than has Jerry Koosman. A's playing behind Grody at first. The pitch to Hahn. Popped up, fouled, the back end of the crowd, just above our head. Of inning number 6 here in New York. Vida down to the waist. Hurdles and throws up high. A ball, 2-2. Once in a while, that Vida Blue fastball, which really takes off, A's catcher Ray Fosse has to just leap to catch it. Not that it goes that high, but he has to leap and just get over there where he can reach it with his glove. He's holding his hand as he comes back. That one hit him on bone bruise, which he has already from catching this A's 320 game winning staff. 2-2 pitch. Fouled off. Right in front of us. That's not getting out of here, I'll tell you. See you later, Jim. Our producer, Lynn Dillon, didn't say a thing about this when we came into New York. They're shooting at us up here tonight. Hahn's giving Vida Blue a battle after getting behind on 2 strikes. Now Ron comes the arm and he throws again. There's a liner in the hole in left center field. It's going to go all the way to the fence. Jerry Grody will score easily. Hahn is
The throw goes to the relay man, Campanez. He won't even throw it. It's a triple for Don Hahn. The Mets lead 2-0. Vida Blue a battle, finally got the pitch he'd been waiting for. It was letter high on the inside, and he drove it. Oakland center fielder Reggie Jackson was playing in the hole in right center field. Don Hahn hit it in the hole in left center, and that might be all for Vida Blue tonight. Bud Harrelson is coming to the plate, and Dick Williams, the A's skipper, is going to the mound. Well, they have hit 3 balls very hard here in this inning. One of them was caught by Joe Rudy just before it tore a hole in the fence. Then Brody got a base hit. Now Don Hahn, who doesn't hit for average or for power, either one, has just driven Vida Blue out of the ball game with a blast in a hole in left center field. And Jim, did you ever see a bigger hole for a ball to go through than that one?
They just couldn't believe that Don Hahn, 229 hitter during the regular season, could get around on the ball. But he got around on that one and pulled the Vida Blue pitch. They were playing him as Monty said to hit the other way. And so disappointed is Vida Blue, he is long gone into the dugout. And the relief pitcher has not yet arrived in the little cart from out of the bullpen. He simply walked off. This was the conversation before the World Series second game, and Blue was going to begin that. All of the friends of Vida, despite the fact he was the youngest ever to win the Cy Young Award, despite the fact he was the most valuable player in 1971 also, when he won 24 games, everybody wanted Vida to win a big one, because indeed it is true. In the playoffs last year, in the World Series last year, in the playoffs this year, he had not won a big game, a World Series game or a playoff game. They wanted him to win. He did not last, going only 5 1/3 innings in the game number 2 out in Oakland, California, this World Series. And guess what? This time he's made it 5 2/3 innings. 2 earned runs, responsible for Hahn at third base with 2 outs. 6 hits, struck out 4, and walked only 1. And in fairness to Vida Blue, despite the fact that Rudy robbed Jones of a certain base hit, he has pitched excellent ball. Anytime you're 2-0 in a ball game, you are in quite a ball game. But again, the Mets staff, this time, spearheaded by Jerry Koosman, has just been tough. 3 hits, 1 unearned run last night, and tonight, through 6 innings, 2 hits and no runs at all. It's 2-0 New York, and the way the Mets are pitching, you got to believe in their pitching staffs, as we said, with a 1.67 earned run average against both Cincinnati and the New York Mets in the championships in the World Series. You got to believe that, well, you got to believe, is what Chuck McGraw says. Here's Darrell Knowles, and here's Monty.
And Darrell Knowles' first job will be to walk Bud Harrelson. Then they're going to pitch to the pitcher, Jerry Koosman. So we have time to tell you what Darrell Knowles, who did not get into the World Series last year, has done in the World Series this year. He pitched 2/3 of an inning and got the final 2 outs of the ball game in Oakland's 2-1 win on Saturday. He has been in 5 ball games, all 5 of them. The series record is 6, set by Hugh Casey, the old Dodgers, Raleigh Fingers, and Pedro Borbon of Cincinnati last year. In Darrell Knowles' previous 4 games in this series, he has given up only 2 hits in 5 1/3 innings, 1 run, but he has walked 4. He struck out 3. He has 1 save so far in the series. Darrell, of course, will be remembered from this World Series for one other thing for a long time. In that long extra inning posting in Oakland on Sunday, he came in to pitch. Threw a double play ball with the bases loaded that was hit right back to him, and he threw the ball away at the plate, and instead of getting 2, they didn't get anybody. And the Mets went on to win by 3 runs. Here now is the pitcher, Koosman, with runners at first and third base. Right-handed batter, Harrelson at first. Here's the pitch. Strike gets called.
should Hahn see Harrelson break from first base, and the A's are not holding Harrelson on. The A's, I'm sure, would throw through, but you don't expect that to happen here in this situation. The pitcher would be up next. There's a bouncing ball foul off third base. And with Bando playing very shallow, Koosman came pretty close to hitting one by him. Koosman was struck out twice by Vida Blue. Mets are leading 2-0. Vida has made two what you could call not good pitches tonight, one to Milner and one to Staub, and they both cost him runs. Here's the pitch. After foul off third, and he's getting some real good cuts off Darrell Knowles. Knowles has gone to no ball, 2-strike count. Off the stretch, here's the pitch. Outside, it just missed the corner. He had Koosman through that time. He'd been coming inside on him, and he popped one to the outside corner and missed with it.
This is Jim Simpson. The Mets 2 runs. Milner singled and Jones was doubled in the second, and Brody singled in the sixth and was tripled home by Don Hahn. The A's have never been behind in this World Series. If they lose tonight, they will be, with Stephen Matlack coming up. The A's have scored no runs in the last 11 innings since scoring an unearned run in the fourth inning last night. The A's have scored no earned runs in the last 15 innings. Here's Monty as Gene Tennis steps in.
Jerry Koosman bears in on Gene Tennis with the first pitch. Up high, ball one. Oakland tonight has had only 2 hits. They had just 3 last night. The Mets pitchers have put the Oakland bats in quite a slump. Foul ball out of play. Tennis got his pitch that time and just missed it. Gene Tennis, Jesus Sabu, and Ray Fosse, the scheduled batters for Oakland in inning number 7. Koosman's delivery up high to Tennis. He got to 3 balls and no strikes on Tennis in the second inning. Came back and struck him out. He walked him in the 5th. Harrelson is in from shortstop. Talking to Koosman here. He really plays Tennis over in the hole. Now the 2-1 pitch. That's low, and he's ball 3. Tennis is the best man in the A's lineup to look the pitches over. He led the A's in bases on balls for the year. 3-1 pitch. Ball 4. And out in the bullpen for the New York Mets, number 45, Doug McGraw gets up and starts the throw. Well, that run that Don Hahn knocked in with 2 outs on a long triple to left center field and 2 strikes on him stands up as an awfully big run right now. The A's are going to have to do something they've not been able to do in the series, and that's put together a big inning.
Rube Walker, the pitching coach of the Mets, has walked out to talk to Jerry Koosman, and we recall last night, of course, that John Matlack's shoulder began to stiffen up. They had to bring on Ray Sadecki in the 9th inning. And the night before that, Tom Seaver suddenly cooled off after 8 innings and asked out of the ball game. It is very chilly here. Doug McGraw had the night off last night, but is up and throwing now.
Here's Jesus Sabu, and Jesus went back into the dugout in the 5th inning after popping up a Koosman fastball, let her high, and threw his helmet down, and in an unusual display of temper, storming around that dugout. He got one he thought he should have hit, and he didn't. Here's the pitch to him. Curve in the dirt, and a nice shot by Jerry Grody, the Mets catcher. 2-0 to score. The Mets are leading the A's in the 7th inning. Tennis off first base. Pitch on the way. Popped up again right behind the plate. Back near the screen. There's Grody. Can he reach it? He can. He's got it.
for the second time in a row, popped up to the catcher. And now Ray Fosse bats for Oakland. Koosman is anything but overpowering, but he must be making some awfully good pitches as far as where he wants to make them. Ray Fosse, the batter, and out on deck for Oakland is Darren Johnson, who apparently pinch hit for Dick Green. 1 out, 7th inning. Kenneth on at first. Ray Fosse, 0 for 2 in the game. He's had 1 hit in the series. Fouled off a fastball. Strike 1. World Series last year between Oakland and Cincinnati was a low-scoring series. Here's the pitch. Fosse takes inside, just missing. Ball 1, 1-1. One game in this series went 10-7, but it took 12 innings to do it. Delivery to Fosse, hot shot, right by the third baseman Garrett, out into the left field corner. Kenneth rounding second, on his way to third. Fosse's on his way to second. It could be the tying run if he gets there. He gets there, and the A's have runners at second and third base and 1 out. Ray Fosse doubles. I believe they'll give him a double on it. It was a rocket shot right by the Mets third baseman Wayne Garrett, who sort of short-armed the ball. A base hit for Ray Fosse, only the third of the ball game for Oakland, and now they are a hit away from tying the ball game. Darren Johnson comes out on deck, and Yogi Berra goes to the mound. Well, they will almost have to pitch to Darren here because they don't want to walk the lead run on. The A's pitcher spot would be coming up next, and Oakland does have pinch hitters left. So what Yogi Berra does here, whether he'll take him out and bring in his number 1 man in that bullpen, Tug McGraw, we'll have to wait and see. I would have to think he's going to. He's just standing on the mound and nobody's talking.
Rube Walker came out early in this inning, and Yogi is now patting Gary Koosman, saying that's it, Koosman on his way out, and you just have to wonder whether or not Koosman in this chilly weather, like not like last night, began to stiffen up, or whether the A's simply started to get their bats around him. You can't really believe that because Dennis walked, which might indicate a stiffness in the shoulder, but Alou simply fouled out. And Fosse's ball might have been flagged down by Garrett at third base, but as Monty reported, he just gave it the short reach, and the ball went beyond his reach and down in the left field corner where Jones dug it out, but it was a 2-base hit. With Fosse getting only his second hit of the series, sliding in ahead of Jones's throw at second base. And how quickly this is turned around. 2 runs on 6 hits and 1 error for the A's. Koosman has worked a total of 6 1/3 innings. Not yet responsible for any run at all, but that could change. He's given up 3 hits, including the one in this inning. Walked 4, struck out 4. One of his walks was an intentional walk. And coming on is Tug McGraw, appearing in his 4th game. He's 1-1, worked 10 innings, given up 7 hits and 4 runs for a 3.60 earned run average. Most of his troubles, most of that earned run average was in that long 10-7 ball game. And here comes McGraw, and he gets the hand. He's the one that originated the saying, you gotta believe. And the Mets and their fans believe in Tug McGraw. He has the ball from Yogi Berra with 1 out of the 7th inning game. Until now, as we said earlier, the Oakland A's have never been behind in this World Series in terms of games. They won the first, the Mets tied it up. They won the third, the Mets tied it up. And the Mets are trying to lead for the first time. And there is your Irish jig as Tug McGraw paused at the mound with his foot. Brody getting ready to take his warm-up tosses. And Darren Johnson on deck to do the 5th inning. And of course, Johnson, the former National Leaguer, has seen McGraw through his earlier days, which were not that good. He was on the 1969 New York Mets squad, but was not used. Here in 1973, he is in his 4th game of 5 in the World Series.
Jim, in game number 1 of the series, he started his outstanding work with 2 innings, and that was the game Oakland won, so he didn't get a chance to save or win that one, really. But his great work came in that 6th inning of work on Sunday. Doug went into that game in the 6th inning with nobody on, and the Mets were leading in the game to 3. Now, actually, in his 6 innings of work, McGraw gave up 4 runs to the Oakland A's, and that was sort of overlooked because the Mets kept coming back and bailing him out. But Oakland scored 4 runs off him that day. On 5 hits, he walked 3 and hit a batter. But he struck out 8 Oakland batters to get out of all the trouble that he was in. Then he pitched 2 innings in game number 3, and last night had the night off, except that he did work out in the bullpen a lot. Here is Darren Johnson, Oakland's designated hitter during most of the year. He drove in 81 runs at 19 home runs. Darren's batting average was .246, and he was up in the .270 range until the last 4 weeks of the season, when he got a bone chip in the right thumb, and it started floating around in there, and it was very, very tender. Dennis is at third, Fosse at second, Doug McGraw into the windup. Here's the pitch. Low fastball that is 1-0. McGraw's big pitch has been a screwball, which goes down and away to the right-hand hitter. Mets play. Darren Johnson strictly the full hitter. McGraw on the line, throwing up high, ball 2. He is behind at 2 balls and no strikes. 1 single to tie this ball game. The Mets are leading now 2-0. McGraw delivers. Strike in the outside corner. Knee-high fastball to Johnson. That's in the perfect pitch range right there. Mets are backed up. They would give up 1 run here to get an out. A ground ball in the infield would get 1 run home. McGraw to the windup. Here's his pitch. Up high, ball 3. If McGraw loses Darren Johnson, the bases will be loaded for Angel Mangual, who's on deck. Johnson will have the green light here, you know. In rides the 3-1 pitch. Swinging strike 2. McGraw fitting his good fastball. He hasn't thrown a screwball yet. So McGraw now, 1 strike away from a big out. Goes to work. Here's a pitch. High foul ball back this way. He has not thrown a screwball yet. Still throwing the hard stuff. Harry Parker, a right-hander, is backing McGraw up. He's in the bullpen. And still, in the last 2 years of World Series competition, no starting pitchers gone the route. Full count on Darren Johnson. He cocks the bat. Here's McGraw's pitch. Up high, he walked him. Bases are loaded. We're going to have a pinch runner for Darren Johnson. Alan Lewis, known by Oakland A's fans as the Panamanian Express. He is strictly a pinch runner for the Oakland A's. He's going to run for Darren Johnson at first base, and coming on to pinch hit is Angel Mangual. He's batting for Darrell No. Well, McGraw, in walking Johnson, may have gotten a break right there. He has a double play position set up now. But one thing he's done, he has brought the third baseman, who was very deep. The third baseman, Garrett, now has come in to play even with the bag at third. And there's a big hole between him and Bud Harrelson. Dennis at third, Fosse at second, Lewis at first. Angel Mangual, who hit .224 with 3 homers for Oakland this year. Right-hand batter. Cocks the bat. Here's McGraw's pitch. Fastball fouled off, and what a cut Angel Mangual had right then. The Mets are leading 2-0. McGraw didn't like that last ball that the umpire threw out, and he's asking for another one. The unique thing in baseball this year, a lot of the balls are made in America but sent to Haiti to be hand-thrown. And a lot of the pitchers don't like those all that much.
The A's have Gene Tennis at third, Ray Fosse at second, Alan Lewis at first. There's one out. Top half of the seventh inning, the New York Mets are leading the Oakland A's 2-0. Angel Manuel at the plate. McGraw takes the sign from Grody. Comes to the plate. Screwball. And did he swing or not? He did swing at it. Strike two. That's the first one McGraw has thrown, and after that fastball cut that Manuel had, it doesn't surprise you to see him throw that one, and Manuel didn't come close to it. It is no balls, 2 strikes. Graw really needing a strikeout here. He is ahead of the batter at 0-2. Around comes the arm. Here's a pitch. Fastball popped up on the infield. The fly rule is on. The batter's automatically out. That's the second out of the inning. Doug McGraw made short work of Angel Manuel right there. Now they're 2 down and the bases are loaded, and here is Campy Campaneris, who won the game for Oakland night before last with a base hit. These Mets fans are cheering Tug McGraw on. This is the Mets' real danger spot of this game. They're only one so far. McGraw takes the sign. Here's the pitch to Campy. Curveball, strike, it's in there. And these Mets fans who are used to hearing McGraw's outstanding have just let him have a blast here. 1 strike to count on Oakland shortstop, Bert Campaneris. Here's the pitch. Curveball again, missing. 1-1. He throws a curveball, which breaks into the right-hander, a screwball, which breaks away, and he's got a good live fastball. So you can't guess on him. Runners lead away at all stations. Here's the pitch. Curveball up high. It's 2-1. Dennis, Fosse, and Lewis are on for the A's with 2 down in the 7th. McGraw to the plate. Fastball swinging. Strike 2. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes, and these Mets fans are ready to tear the roof off the buildings around this ballpark in Flushing Meadows. Listen at him. Here's McGraw, 2-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. He left him up there. Doug McGraw, the miracle worker of the Miracle Mets, has just done it again. The score is New York 2, Oakland nothing. Hello again from New York. Jim Simpson with Bonnie Moore. And now Wally Fingers has come on to do the pitching, and Ted Kubiak has moved in to play second base. Fingers appearing in his 4th game. He is 0-1, but his earned average is 1.29. Has a save. He'll get the top of the batting order. And you know, Bonnie Moore, doing baseball for NBC, I've been all around the American League and all around the National League, and I've told this story before. In Kansas City, at All-Star break time, a New York Met official said, in September, because we have the pitching, we will be the team that will win the National League East and the series, and look what's going on. It's not complete or true yet, but they sure do look good. Raleigh Fingers to Wayne Garrett in the first pitch of the last half of the 7th inning is a strike from the big ace reliever of the Oakland bullpen. Wayne Garrett, 4 hits and 21 at-bats in the series. The pitch to him. Curveball is down low. Boy, that McGraw has been in and out of some scrapes that Houdini couldn't have gotten out of in this series. And he has gotten out of them. That was the biggest one so far. Here's a pitch to Garrett. Bouncing ball right side. Ted Kubiak, new second baseman in for Oakland. Tosses to Tennis at first. There's 1 out. Dick Williams, Oakland A's got the break they wanted in the 7th when Koosman walked Tennis. And then Ray Fosse doubled Tennis at third. Yogi Berra the chance that
he had to take and going to the bullpen and getting Tug McGraw, and he threw a fastball strike right down the middle that Campaneris didn't swing at for the third strike. Here's Felix Millan. Strike call from Raleigh Fingers. Fingers led the Oakland A's pitching department in saves with 22 for the year. Here's his 0-1 pitch. It is outside, a ball, 1-1. Mets lead 2-0, and the Met crowd spelling victory, chanting, "Let's go Mets." 1-1 pitch, sidearm Turner. Did he bunt at it or not? They appeal to the first base umpire, and he says no. Felix Millan almost went out over the plate trying to bunt that ball. It was a big curve. He laid off of it, says the umpire. Home plate umpire couldn't see it. He appealed to the first base umpire, Wendelstedt, and he had another decision to make on a ball or a strike call. Now the 2-1 pitch. Fouled off into the right field corner, out of play. One of the biggest breaks McGraw got, I think, when he came in was walking Darren Johnson, a power-hitting pinch hitter with first base open. He didn't want to, but he did. And that allowed him to pitch to Mangroff for the pop-up. Here's a bouncer to Bando near the bag at third. He's got it. Throws to first in the dirt, and Gene Kennett saved him an error by digging it out on a back-handed stab. 2 out, and here's Rusty Staub. Oakland will have only 2 more shots at the Mets in this game. Game number 5 of the 1973 World Series. Both playoffs in the American and National League went 5 games this year. Mets in a frantic series with Cincinnati, and the A's ditto with Baltimore. Raleigh Fingers misses high and inside. You know, the pitching has been able to remain strong in this series because of the off-day traveling coast to coast. 1-0 pitch. Curve down and in. Too much. Last year, the A's got a little advantage in pitching in the World Series because one of the games got rained out. They had to play a game in Oakland on an afternoon and fly all the way to Cincinnati and play the next afternoon, which meant the Reds didn't get that much more rest, and Oakland was deep in pitching. There's a called strike to Rusty Staub. But the Mets have 3 good starters, and they're going to be able to go with them right down the line. Oakland has gone right with their 3 20-game winners down the line. Pitch it goes by outside for ball 3 to Staub. Three balls, 1 strike on the Met right fielder. Strike 2 call to the inside corner. Rusty jumped out of the way of that ball. It wasn't really that close to him. So Fingers is now at the payoff position here. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and he shakes off Ray Fosse on one side. Vida Blue pitched well here today. 5 2/3 innings, gave up 2 runs. Mets had 6 hits, a big one. A 2-out triple by Hahn. Here's a 3-2 pitch. Curveball, walked in, and Rusty Staub is on. That brings up Cleon Jones, who just crushed the ball 3 times tonight. Jones, his first time up in the 2nd inning, hit a Vida Blue pitch off the left field wall. He scored on John Milner's single. Then in the 4th inning, he got a base hit off Vida. In the 6th inning, he sent Joe Rudy on one of his acrobatic circus catches as he crashed into the left field wall. So he has really been on the ball tonight. Pitch to him is fouled away. Strike 1. The way Jones has been pulling the ball in the World Series, Oakland has had to change the defense, and it's interesting to see how the various scouting reports are changed in the middle of the series. out in Oakland. The first two games, the A's right fielder and center fielder were well over to the line. Opposite way on Jones. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Sidearm hook, and he started to go around. He did go around, says the first base umpire. The home plate umpire never saw that one again. He asked for help at first.
Well, Tug McGraw now comes to the 8th inning and now comes to the important part of the Athletics lineup. In an effort for the A's, who had the bases loaded in the 7th inning, to catch up to this Mets team that leads 2-0, they will have Joe Rudy, Sal Bando, and Reggie Jackson. So among them have a bundle of home runs. And of course, if one gets on, Gene Tennis is the next man. And what I'm saying anymore is, this is the golden chance that there is to be a chance against Tug McGraw for the Oakland A's.
How important the bullpen has become in Major League Baseball. Tug McGraw was in some 24 of the last 31 games the Mets had this year. The World Series, Darrell Knowles' Oakland bullpen has already been in every one of the games. Here's Joe Rudy up now. He's 0 for 3 tonight. McGraw's pitch, fastball just off the outside shelf, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. He only threw 1 screwball when he was in that jam in the 7th inning. But it got him out ahead of Angel Manuel and loosened Angel up at the plate enough that he was then able to go back and get him. Here's the 1-0 to Rudy. Little low, ball 2. Score is 2-0. The Mets are leading the Oakland A's, and Oakland has only 2 more shots at them. George Stone, a left-hander, is now working in the Mets bullpen. 2-0 pitch to Rudy. Strike gets in there. Most good relievers have some kind of a freak pitch. McGraw has the screwball, but he can also throw the ball by you. He's got a good, quick fastball. 2-1 pitch. Long drive to left, but hooking foul by Joe Rudy. Oh, he got out on that one. Now it'll be interesting to see if McGraw comes back and spins one out. I believe Rudy broke his bat on that. Two balls, 2 strikes. Bando is on deck. Jackson in the hole. Their pitch. Yeah, I figured that. McGraw threw a curve in the dirt that time to Rudy. Joe had too good a cut at that McGraw fastball to come back with another one. But now he's going to have to come in with something he thinks because he's gone all the way on Rudy at 3-2. Rudy lays the bat right on his right shoulder. Here's the pitch. Fastball hit on the ground of the third baseman. Garrett has this one. Throwing to first. He got him. The Mets have stopped the hot-hitting Joe Rudy cold here tonight. He's 0 for 4.
Bonnie, a little quiz, not for you, but for the fans out there. Since there are no complete games by any pitchers this year, when was and who was the last complete game pitcher in the World Series? The answer after Bando died.
Thank you, Mr. Answerman. Here's the pitch to Bando. Curve a little high, ball 1. Well, let's see. Dating back to the Pittsburgh and who the year before? Baltimore. Bando fouls his pitch back. 1 ball and 1 strike on Sal.
Pittsburgh won in 7 in 1971, and Baltimore took Cincinnati in 5 in 1970.
McGraw's pitch to Bando. Strike, a fastball right in there. Little left-hander from Vallejo, California. Tug McGraw, who really tugs at the heartstrings of the New York Mets fans. And he's got them all right where he wants them. The pitch. A little low. Boy, I've noticed the 2 strikes on batters. He tries to get that fastball sneaking by you. He did on Campaneris with the bases loaded. Now the 2-2 pitch to Bando. Fuji is up high, ball 3. He's been at 3-2 on 2 batters in a row now. He'd hate to lose Bando with Jackson coming up. Here's his pitch. Little looper, left field. That ball hit off the end of the bat. Here comes Jones. He's got it. Now Bando hit that ball right off the end of the bat for the second out, and now Reggie Jackson bats with nobody on.
And the answer, Steve Blass, in the 7th game of the 1971 World Series, pitched a complete ball game. None all last year in Cincinnati Series, and none, of course, this year through 5 games.
And then Steve Blass, a National League record for the running broad jump off the pitcher's mound. Here's Reggie Jackson. He hit a sharp ground ball right up the middle in the 6th inning with runners in scoring position, and Harrelson got him. Pitch to Jackson is low and inside, ball 1. McGraw has flirted with danger since he's been in. He was at 3-2 on Rudy, 3-2 on Bando, 3-2 on Darren Johnson. He walked Johnson. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Jackson takes high, ball 2, and he's at 2-0 on him. If Jackson gets on, it'll be Gene Tennis. McGraw takes the sign. Here's his pitch. Jackson is taking for the first time I can ever remember seeing him going up there with the idea of taking on 2-0. He was holding the bat right out over the plate and didn't even offer at it. Usually these big, long tater hitters are up there to swing away, but he wants to get on. Pitch inside, ball 3. The A's need base runners now, and with Gene Tennis on deck. These big, long tater hitters are up there to swing away, but he wants to get on. Pitch inside, ball 3. The A's need base runners now, and with Gene Tennis on deck. Jackson is looking at Irv Norn, the third base coach for Oakland, to see if he can hit or take here. The Mets have a left-hander throwing, no right-handers throwing in their bullpen. Been amazing how much they've gone to the left-hand pitching in this series against the A's right-hand hitters. 3-1 to Jackson. It almost hit him. Gets away from the catcher. Did it hit the bat or not? Jackson goes off to first base. He tried to get out of the way of that ball, and it almost hit him. It glanced off Grody's glove. So Jackson goes to first with 2 down, and here's Gene Tennis. Score, the Mets 2 and the A's nothing. There are 2 down. We're in the top half of the 8th inning. Tennis has walked twice in this game and struck out on a 3-2 count another time. They hit a home run here tonight. It'll take a line drive to left field. The wind is blowing across. Here's a pitch. Curve high. And the Mets have really thrown a lot of breaking balls to Tennis. Though Koosman struck him out with a fastball in the 2nd inning after setting him up well with the breaking ball. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Fastball, and it's right in there. Strike call, it's 1-1. Boy, this little pitcher really keeps you guessing up there. What a performer. Now the 1-1 pitch. Slow curveball, swinging strike 2. He's getting the A's batters to take the fastball, and then they're swinging at the breaking ball. He's ahead of Tennis at 1-2. He sets, he throws, through ball outside, 2-2. He hasn't really thrown that one for a strike. Here's a 2-2 pitch, back to the curve, and Tennis beats it foul into the dirt behind the plate. He got a strike on the screwball, but he didn't throw it in the strike zone. That was on Manguel for the 2nd strike. Mets are deep for Tennis. Jackson leading off first base with a count 2-2. Here's the pitch. Up high, it is now ball 3. He has been on 3 and 2 counts on 4 straight batters in this inning and 1 in the last inning. Now Jackson will take off here. McGraw sets, he throws. Tennis flips it foul off the end of the bat down the first base line. If Tennis gets on and keeps it going, the A's will have Jesus Alou to bat next. They can't manufacture an inning here. They already have 2/3 of it gone. Jackson leads the way. Jackson runs. Here's a pitch. Ball 4, he walks him. Gene Tennis struck a free pass for the 3rd time in this ball game. And here is Jesus Alou, who hit only 1 home run for Oakland this year.
Jesus Alou, a pretty good first ball, fastball hitter, so McGraw's going to have to make a good pitch, or will try to anyway.
Dick Williams.
Let me check those walks, Lindsay. That ran down my scoreboard. 7 walks.
What are we going to see? A pinch runner? Is that what Williams is waiting for?
Apparently so. He's sent for something or somebody. Umpire Russ Getz would like to know what he has in mind.
Dick Williams, a great believer in making things happen. I think unlike Yogi, who sits back a little more patiently and waits, many times they will use Odom to pinch run in situations such as this. He has already used Alan Lewis. It looks like Blue Moon right there.
Yeah, John Odom. Good runner, Odom.
Williams thinking, obviously, an extra base hit. Odom may have a better chance scoring all the way from first base instead of Tennis, but Williams could also get himself in trouble should this ball game be tied by them with Tennis out of the game.
So Odom checks in with Coach Jerry Adair at first base. Tennis is out of the ball game. Jesus Alou at the plate. 2 men out. 2 men on. Stone still throwing in the bullpen. The Mets are leading 2-0. In there for a called strike. Line to Garrett at third for the out that retires the side. Wayne Garrett took the line shot. 2 walks and 2 men left in the middle of the 8th inning to score. The Mets 2 and the Oakland A's nothing.
Watch out. Your car's cooling system can't hide from Old Man Winter or from his partner, corrosion. Guard your car with Prestone 2, winter's summer protection. Only Prestone 2 has a patented silicone silicate formula. The Prestone inhibitor system shields and preserves metal against rust and corrosion. Protect against freeze-up, boil-up, and corrosion with Prestone 2. If you can't trust Prestone, who can you trust?
The Dutch West Indies. You may not get back this way again, but you've got a friend waiting and some living to catch up on. You only go around once. You've got to do it with gusto.
Once around life, once around living, come around things, the gusto of slips.
Our handheld cameras over in the NBC radio booth. That Jim Simpson on your left. Monty Moore, the A's broadcaster, on the right. They're broadcasting radio around the world tonight. And Monty will join us, Tony and me, in Oakland for Game 6 on television.
And now the New York Mets come up in the bottom of the 8th inning. Pat Burke is in the ball game at first base. John Milner is at the plate for the Mets. Drove in the first run in the second inning. He is 1 for 3. Has a base hit into center field. A leadoff single as Reggie Jackson returns it. There is Pat Burke coming over to hold against the runner. Tennis, you'll recall, was removed for the pinch runner. Mets lead 2-0 now, and Jerry Grody's coming up. 1 for 3. One would expect the Mets to try to build a run here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Grody's around. Bunts the ball, first base side, a foul ball. Ray Fosse got to it in foul territory. It's strike 1 to Grody. Milner back to first base.
You're right, he does have a lot of Henry Aaron's mannerisms, just jogging back to first as he just did.
He does that. That's why they call him the Hammer. Always call him the Hammer until the time when the Mets play the Atlanta Braves. And then for some reason they don't call him the Hammer in that series. Shorty's around. Watch this from fair. Burke has it. Goes to Kubiak. Sacrifice goes 3-4 if you're scoring, and it has moved Milner to second base. It'll bring up Don Hahn, who tripled a drive and a run in the 6th inning. Was on an error by Campaneris in the 4th, grounded into a forced play in the 2nd.
Center field has been a problem spot for these Mets most of the season until this fella came along.
Center field has been a problem spot for the New York Mets most of their life. Fouled it right off the end of the bat. Strike one.
Jackson in center field this time is not playing over in right center field as he has most of this series. He's moved about straight away.
And right now, with Hahn at the plate, the Mets have out-hit the A's 52 hits to 35 hits in the 4 games. Got 17 more hits.
Curveball swung on and missed, 0-2. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network. This is Lindsey Nelson with Kurt Gowdy and Tony Kubek at Shea Stadium in New York, where the Mets are leading the Oakland A's by a score of 2-0. Bottom half of the 8th inning. 2-strike delivery. Rides high. It's 1-2. 1 man out, a runner at second. Paul Lindblad is up and throwing in the bullpen now for the Oakland A's. That's Lindblad. He was the winning pitcher night before last in an 11-inning game. Now the 1-2. Swung on and missed. Struck him out. 2 away, and the batter will be Bud Harrelson.
And the A's fans might be looking ahead, Lindsey. The A's have the bottom third of their order up in the 9th inning. Fosse, Kubiak, and Fingers.
First base is open. Tug McGraw follows in the batting order. An intentional walk has been ordered by manager Dick Williams.
Oh. That's why they make that pitcher throw all 4. That was close.
Was that?
I'm trying to make this intentional pass exciting. It's not very easy.
I was about to say, it's not easy at all. So, it is accomplished at least.
McGraw, good hitter?
No. As a matter of fact, he isn't. At the start of the year, he was a switch hitter and finally gave it up. Tug McGraw coming up. Well, he came well prepared.
I hope that was not a real wolfskin coat.
Whoever drops a cigar ash in that baby, he'll be running for the exit.
McGraw, I suppose, could be best characterized as a hitter as tenacious. Everything he does in that manner. Fouled it off, and it's strike one.
We've seen great pitching in this ball game so far. Koosman, McGraw in relief. Fingers has looked sharp. Vida Blue pitched well.
Breaking pitch in for a called strike. It's 0-2. Milner's the runner at second base, and Bud Harrelson is the runner at first base. 2 men out. The dust blown across the infield. Fastball hit on the ground to second. Kubiak is up over to first in time. Decided retired. There was a hit and a walk, 2 left, and at the end of 8, the score is the Mets 2, Oakland nothing.
Everyone in the family enjoys an Amana radar range microwave oven. Housewives like it because it cooks most everything in about 1/4 the time. Husbands like the radar range oven because it's so easy to fix snacks for friends. Cooking on paper or glass means no extra mess. Even children like it. It's so easy to operate. And with this radar range browning skillet, you can sear, brown, fry, or grill right in your oven. Remember, if it doesn't say Amana, it's not a radar range.
Beauty. If beauty may be defined as grace, spirit, dignity, and strength, surely this is truly beautiful. The 1974 Imperial LeBaron. Precision design and assembly. Extraordinary convenience and comfort. Incomparable visual elegance. Imperial LeBaron. A proud new generation of luxury motor car from Chrysler.
Hi, I'm Al Kaline. I'm in my 20th season with the Detroit Tigers, and I've enjoyed every one of these years. Baseball has done a great deal for me and my family, more than I can ever repay. If you want a good life, like to travel first class, meet interesting people, and have a lot of fun while doing it, put your mind on baseball. Baseball is a great career.
Preceding announcement made on behalf of Major League Baseball. A program note, Academy Award winner Cliff Robertson and Robert Duvall stars Cole Younger and Jesse James in the great Northfield, Minnesota raid. This week's Saturday night at the movies. 9 o'clock Eastern Time, 8 Central, right here on NBC. And the Oakland A's now are 3 outs away from dropping behind in this series. They'll send up the bottom of their order against Tug McGraw, who has relieved Jerry Koosman. Remember, Game 6 will start in Oakland, 3:30 our coverage, Eastern Daylight Time. Tom Seaver and Jim Hunter in that game.
Speaking of Jim Hunter, he's throwing in the bullpen at this moment for the Oakland A's as they come up here in the top of the 9th inning. That's Hunter. Ray Fosse will lead it off. He had a double in the 7th inning, and the pitch is high and away for a ball.
No, if he got in there, if the A's tied this, they went into extra innings. Could mean they'd switch to Holtzman on Saturday.
That pitch is high. 2-0.
They might start Blue Moon on him, too.
Or Blue Moon, right. Holtzman was shelled early here in Shea Stadium.
That's a call strike. It's 2-1. The Mets have their bullpen going. A left-hander George Stone, a right-hander Harry Parker. There they are. Bullpen coach Joe Pignatano. McGraw delivers 2-1. Into left. Here comes Jones. Cleon Jones for the out. Cleon has had a pretty good evening for a fellow who was a doubtful starter because of a case of flu. Our statistician here tonight, Alan Roth, production stage manager Jim O'Gorman.
Sinking line drives. Cleon got a good jump. The ball hit almost directly at him. A tough play for any outfielder. You don't get that sideline perspective. Here he comes again from a different angle. Good catch, protecting so the ball would not get by him.
There's the strike to Ted Kubiak.
Last two A's have hit line drives, Lou and Fosse.
That is strike 2. Billy Canigliaro has come out on deck now. Billy C. is on deck. 2-strike delivery. Rides high, it's 1-2. The A's. That's Billy C.
Singing goodbye, Charlie. We hate to see you go.
Just missed. It's 2-2.
Well, Charlie and the A's are not folders. They'll be back Saturday. Don't worry.
That one is a foul ball, and it's back out of play.
You know, we've talked before about a lot of the moves that Dick Williams has made. You've got Kubiak up there now in this situation. The 9th inning, Dick Green, a .260 hitter during the year, was taken out earlier in the ball game. Makes you wonder.
2-2. Foul back. He's still alive at 2-2. Dick Williams, Wes Stock. The Mets have had 2 runs, 7 hits. Yogi Berra, Rube Walker, Eddie Yost. Calling on strike. McGraw with his first strikeout. Brought the fastball in and caught him looking. That gets the Met fans up on their feet here at Shea Stadium, and Billy Canigliaro will be batting now. Coming in to bat for Raleigh Fingers. You see Williams doing his bookkeeping there on his personnel chart on the back wall of the dugout. He's only got one man left back there. That's Davalillo. That's in for a called strike.
The A's had their chances. They left 2 in the 6th, 3 in the 7th, 2 in the 8th, but they couldn't get the big hit.
Conversely, Yogi Berra has not been to his bench tonight, except for a relief pitcher. Scroogie breaks low, and it's 1-1. These are simply two managers with totally different philosophies about how you run a ball game. Each obviously is successful. They're in the World Series. On the fastball, it's 1-2.
And he wants to wind up with that Irish flair, a strikeout.
Again, as we said before, if you see him get by and get this man out, there will be an emotional display that will surpass the previous one. Two men out. He's called out on strike. There is McGraw. Kurt McGraw finishing with successive strikeouts as he gets the save. And the win, of course, goes to Jerry Koosman. And the New York Mets go out in front in the World Series 3-2. Cleon Jones coming out of a sick bed. Double, single here tonight and turning a spark and play in the outfield. Don Hahn had a triple to drive and a run. The Met fans have seen the final game of the season at Shea Stadium. And now the New York Mets at 4:15 tomorrow afternoon will be flying out of New York and heading for Oakland, where game number 6 comes up on Saturday afternoon. Coverage starting on NBC at 3:30.
We'll be right back after this message.
You know, I feel it.
Your sciatica.
The Uniroyals, they really stopped short. I feel it. I really feel it.
Then say it.
These Uniroyals really turned sharp.
We feel it too, don't we, Al?
That's right. You can actually feel the difference between Uniroyal steel-belted radials and your old bias ply tires.
We feel it in our thrill show. You'll feel it on the road.
I feel it. I really feel it.
I know you do, my son. You're about to see a magnificent performance. The cast of characters, a simple bowl of fruit, and Polaroid's new SX70. Just touch the button, and it hands you the picture. Minutes later, you'll have a finished photograph of dazzling beauty. The new SX70 land camera from Polaroid.
Well, the A's didn't get an earned run in the 2 games here. After they won the opening game, the Mets earned run average in their staff 1.65, and McGraw completed 5 shutouts for the Met pitchers during the season. Quick comments by Lindsay. Nice job here, Lindsay, by the way.
Thank you very much, Kurt. A great pleasure to work with you and Tony. Thought Cleon Jones had a great night. So did Koosman. So did McGraw.
Tony.
Mets got what they did all during the stretch. Good pitching, good relief, good hitting in the clutch.
The Mets lead 3-2. Travel day tomorrow. We'll be covering the World Series Saturday for Game 6. Seaver against Catfish Hunter, and we'll start it at 3:30 Eastern Daylight Time. Thank you, everyone, for looking in. Game 5 of the 1973 World Series has been brought to you by Chrysler Plymouth, featuring the beautiful new 1974 Chryslers and Plymouths, and by Gillette, makers of that dry look, #1 aerosol for men's hair. No wonder the wet head is dead. The Flip Wilson Show, Ironside, and Sammy Davis Jr., starring in NBC Follies, will return next week in their regularly scheduled time periods. And Game 6, beginning at 3:30 Eastern Time Saturday, with the baseball world of Joe Garagiola, right here on NBC.
Betty Davis.